I'm working on something now that I think would be a great time for the listeners, and we can get into it a little bit later. But how are you feeling?
All things considered, actually pretty good. Now, I know I apologize. I sound very congested still, I think.
That's pretty normal. You got
I still have stints in, but it was a couple things I would say. One, thanks to Bink. Appreciate Bink for filling in for the last couple of days and allowing me to take an extra day or so, which I think was necessary and feel pretty good, actually, all things considered. The surgery went well. I mean, someone immediately was asking today, like, can you smell? I won't know that for a bit. One, I got plastic stents still shoved up my nose, but also it's going to take time to heal. So, as far as the main reason I did it, of course, was to get my smell back and everything. I won't know for a little while if that worked. They believe it did based off of what they were able to clean up up in the nose and sinus area and everything like that. But it was I was prepared for the worst. You saw the text on Wednesday.
Yeah.
People saying it was like the worst experience and everything. It was not fun by means. And again, it's not fun. It's uncomfortable having stents in your nose right now trying to do a radio show. But
sure,
at the same time, it was not as bad as I thought, and I was told. And
everybody's
different.
Hernia surgery, yeah,
and everybody's different, right? Everybody's body reacts differently to it. I think I was so congested based off of what my doctor said.
Doesn't feel any different yet.
This doesn't feel that awful to me because that's how bad it has been. The worst thing and nastiest thing is like these nasal rinse stuff I have to do multiple times a day. Like it's pretty gnarly, some of the stuff that'll come out.
Yeah,
but
you just got to ignore that, or you'll get used to it one way or the other. It'll solve itself.
It was good. The one thing I got to ask you guys is, why did none of you tell me or text me when we were texting this weekend how high I looked in a photo I posted before the surgery?
I assumed you knew.
I didn't delete it because I'm like, it's up there. But I looked very high. That was, for the record on the timeline of that photo, that was obviously not when anesthesia was, going yet. Anesthesia, you're knocked out in 10 seconds or whatever. They had given me a cup of like 5 pills, which I presume one of them was pain meds.
Probably.
And I don't know, 25, 30 minutes after that medicine, I took a photo. I looked very relaxed. Very, very comfortable.
So we did talk about this on the show on Fairness on Monday.
You did?
Drew, was that right?
Okay.
Was it, no, Friday. Friday we talked about it. Drew wasn't here.
I was not here.
So on Friday, I saw that photo, and my initial thought was, Alex does look a little high. But you posted it.
I did.
So,
I
figured you were comfortable with it. But the second part was, you didn't strike me as a hospital bed selfie guy.
Oh.
I
don't know why I decided to do. I just said
hospital bed selfie, I was like, I thought it was at least questionable.
Okay, fair.
It was 50-50. I thought
He was feeling good. He was feeling good.
But hospital bed selfie, I mean, that's a rare selfie. People don't post those all the time. So, I
maybe
wasn't
he didn't
sure.
even know he posted it, honestly. Maybe Gold didn't even know.
Sounds like he knew he posted it.
Yeah, I knew I posted it, but I was
You look so high.
I was very relaxed. And I did not realize until Friday when I went back, because Thursday I was kind of out of it all day. But Friday, I was, very alert with everything and everything like that.
Thursday, you don't remember any of that stuff.
Friday, I went back, on social media because some people had messaged or whatever, and I saw the photo I posted. Which again, I knew I posted a photo. I just didn't, and I was like, oh my. I was like,
your eyes look drowsy.
Yeah. I was very relaxed, and it made me feel comfortable, I guess.
First surgery since?
Says I broke my finger.
Oh,
LASIK. I guess LASIK counts as surgery.
But that's like an
that's
hour
different.
long, right?
And you're not knocked
out.
This is only the second surgery where I've had to be knocked out or whatever. And so it went well. So go to the doctor's office this afternoon and get the splints taken out, which I'm told once you get that, then it's like, all right, the worst is behind you kind of stuff.
I know we'll talk about the Broncos fans not stopping complaining, at least, about the current schedule. But were there any other things you wanted to address that you saw when you were gone?
A few observations when I was gone. One, people are mad about sourdough.
Oh, I just thought it was stupid.
Chiefs fans are
I'm
mad
not
about
mad
sourdough.
about it. I just thought if it was meant to be a joke, jokes are supposed to be funny. It wasn't funny. Ergo, not mad about it, but a whiff. Swing and a miss.
Were they trying to be truly? I don't know what I'm assuming you guys talked about this, but I saw the reaction on social media. I didn't realize how ticked off people were, or did people recognize, are the Chiefs trolling everybody?
So that was Bink's take. Okay. Is that everybody's trolling? Now look, who's the target of the troll? And what is the joke? I think that if it is we're doing cheesy dad jokes with sourdough, I thought we're trying to do cheesy dad jokes. Here's a couple of lines, ha funny. Here's some bad photoshops to go with the bread.
You don't think that's what they were doing?
That is what they were doing. What I'm saying is it was a miss because it wasn't funny. I'm supposed to laugh at any of the jokes. None of the jokes are funny. I'm supposed to laugh at the images. The images aren't particularly funny. So, like, that was my only stance on it.
It was the captions for me.
The captions.
Because they even put LOL in one of them. Like, you don't have to make yourself you're trying too hard. Is what that was.
Okay. All I'm pointing out is that, as it sits, or at least the way it works at this moment, is I just didn't think it was funny. I'm not mad about it. Anything else you want to get to before? I'll tell you later in the show. I don't want to disappoint you in the possibility of something I might have signed us up for.
Signed us up for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Volunteered.
You already signed us up for something?
Well, volunteered us to be the leaders of
the text line, and everybody. There's a lot of people who say yes to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other observation I had, one I already mentioned, we're in 4K now, which looks cool. Trying to get the camera figured out a little bit.
Is yours blue or green?
It is green.
If you hold your hand up, you can make it track you.
What? What do you mean?
You got to leave it's like you got to leave a full hand up like this for, I don't know, sometimes 3 to 4 seconds, and then it'll flash green or flash blue. If it's not working, I can't help you. But we can make Drew fix it at some point.
4K.
So 4K, that's nice.
It looks amazing.
Fancy cameras.
It looks amazing. We'll have to move the cameras. It's different. You and I do our show differently than the other two shows. You and I stare across at each other when we do a show like we're having a conversation. It makes sense.
It does track.
The other shows, obviously Carrington, because Rob is across the way, they both stare in a different direction. So the camera... it's not in the right spot.
No, we'll have to adjust it as time
I just saw
goes.
that. And then the other thing I noticed, and Drew, not as much today, but I did check on the stream yesterday. And did you pass out on the beach when you were in Tampa?
I might as well.
You were like a lobster. A lobster.
Yeah. That actually is a good way to put it. I look like an Oompa Loompa is what
Something.
100%. It's not as bad as it was, thank goodness.
It's not good.
But it was... I got burned really, really badly. Like the top of the feet, around my ankles. Like my ankles were swollen and everything. Still was dealing with some of the swelling.
Blistering.
It's not blistering, but it was bad.
Yeah,
at least blistering yet.
I heard you say, "quote I got throttled." I wanted that. We need to say there's a drop in the system. You said throttled. You said you got throttled.
There was a lot of. I saved the toasted drop. I did not save the throttle drop.
Yeah, I don't know what's
that
worse.
would have been a good one.
Yeah,
that would have been a good one. But other than that, you didn't miss too much.
I'm toasted.
Yeah, on Friday, we had pretty normal couple of shows last week. One thing I think we can be the beginning of a revolution for later in the year, and then we'll get to some Chiefs and Royals and all the other fun stuff in between.
You might have been toasted too, Gold, when you were taking that selfie.
I think so. For sure, based on that photo.
A different kind of toasted,
baked. Yeah, I think is what is actually.
You look a little high.
Yeah. So it's good to be back. Appreciate Bink. Appreciate some of the listeners that reached out. Really do appreciate that, and. Hopefully tomorrow I will not sound congested. We'll be full go, ready to rock and roll.
And then,
as Bob said before he signed off today, he teased that I would be able to tell people how Cody smells. Well, not yet.
I shower every day.
Well, that's a good decision.
I put on deodorant.
I would suggest doing that.
I take care of routine maintenance like any other person.
Well, the ball maxing.
Yeah. That was maybe the only major story you missed during that time, other than what we'll get into a little bit later. Let's start with the Royals.
Yeah.
Might as well. Last night, game 1 against the White Sox. We know how close the division's been. Really, since you've been gone, that hasn't changed much. They're 3 games back in the division now instead of 1.5 or 2.5. But the distance between the top team in the AL Central and the bottom team in the AL Central is still tight. The teams are all kind of mediocre. The Guardians are still in the lead. Last night reaffirmed the thing that I think we've probably spent less time talking about this team, because Reagan's has struggled, Noah Cameron has struggled, the offense was bad for so long, then it hit it. The bullpen's not deep enough. And we've spent some time on this show talking about it, but it's definitively not deep enough. And last night was another example of that. They've gotten burned more times this year losing a baseball game late from bullpen problems than lack of timely hitting problems. The bullpen's burned them more than once, and last night was another example. It wasn't a bad pitch Strom threw, but the offense came back through after the starting pitching failed, and they needed to hold them off. And they couldn't do it after Cola gave up the runs, and unfortunately they gave up the wrong run at the wrong time to the guy I'd never heard of, and all of a sudden he's making diving plays on Bobby Wood Jr., hitting home runs to win the game. That game was frustrating.
Yeah, it was frustrating because it did feel like they blew that. They're playing a White Sox team. I understand it's not the same old White Sox team. I'm sure you guys talked about that a lot leading into the series. It's a White Sox team that is in the postseason right now, if the postseason began and everything. Bink was texting me about that yesterday. And I get it, but you still had an opportunity with the way your offense got going last night to take game one of the series, continue the momentum that you had from the homestand that you just wrapped up and went 4-3, even if it didn't end the way you wanted it to go, and then you felt like you kind of gave that away. And I understand
so now
that
you're 4-4 in your last 8
every
against the division, which is
right. And then look, not every managerial decision is going to work, but I thought we all could notice last night watching Kolek that in that inning he was giving up a lot of hard contact, and they were starting to see him pretty well. And he also just wasn't as effective as he had been, which is fine. He can have a bad outing. The point is, I thought they should have gone to the bullpen a batter or two earlier. Yeah, that's probably not even hindsight being 2020. I think we all saw that in the moment. He was starting to give up some pretty hard contact. And so I thought that was a mistake. And then the Royals offense comes right back, fortunately, but you just wonder what was the decision-making process there. That's unfortunate. And so hopefully, the Royals can get the next 2. But in a division that is as tight as it is, where nobody's running away with it, where the AL's a mess, even one game like that, you just hope these aren't ones you go back and look at and say, man, that wasn't one where it's like, oh, you feel like you had no business winning or whatever. That the White Sox stole one last night. Yeah,
it's weird because the Royals got 2-0, and when you hit 2 home runs in the first inning, you got to think, all right, we got a good chance to win tonight. Mm-hmm. Like, pretty good chance of just getting some winning baseball tonight. And then, of course, they immediately give up the 2-run lead a few innings later. They're just kind of stuck in hot or cold still. Like, because if I told you right now the Royals have lost 4 of their last 6, which is accurate, by the way, they have lost 4 of their last 6. It doesn't feel that way. Does it feel that way to you? Does it feel like they've lost 4 of their last 6 games? It doesn't. Certainly not. Maybe that's because before that they had won 5 games in a row. And so it depends on how far out the stretch it is, but it's all in bunches. They won 4 in a row. They lost 2 in a row. They won 5 in a row. They lost 2 in a row. They won 2 in a row. They lost 2 in a row. They can't seem to get 5 of 7, 6 of 7. It's all just coming in either winning streaks or losing streaks. And so if I go all the way back to, late April, they're playing perfectly fine baseball. They've won 11 of their last, they're 11-6 in their last 17 games. Gold, that percentage will get the Royals over 100 wins the rest of the way. So the last 17 games, I got no complaint about, but they've let a lot slip away.
You and I both know though that yes, they could go 4-3 every homestand every week and win 89 games or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a stretch where they lose 5 in a row again. They will, most likely. And will they have a stretch though where they win 8 in a row again? And so that's the part that's frustrating is when you feel like you need to take advantage of where you're at in your schedule. I did hear you yesterday talking about it's not like suddenly the schedule just eases up. There's no White Sox of 2023 again on your schedule, or 2024, I'm sorry, on your schedule, where you're just going to go and win 12 games against somebody in this division or 11 games against somebody in this division. That doesn't exist this year. And so when you had a chance to make it a great homestand, instead it was a pretty good one, or last night, those are frustrating. But Kolek, in fairness to him, I'll say this, it should also be a reminder of where we're at with Noah Cameron, who is hurt right now and came back and hopefully is going to get things solved. And we'll see about Cole Reagans. Those that were saying, oh, Noah Cameron needs to move to the bullpen because Kolek's pitching great. Last night's a reminder of Stephen Kolek was still a guy that did not get called up and start pitching until he was 28 or 29 as well.
Yeah.
And so, he earns the right to have a bad outing. Stephen Kolek was amazing in his first 6 or whatever, 7 outings for the Royals, but we don't need to act like Noah Cameron should have got bumped to the bullpen for Kolek. This is last night's proof of that. Hey, Stephen Kolek, we're not just, everything's good to go with him. He's still capable of having bad or very average outings.
Yes. He had 6 consecutive quality starts for the Royals. He wasn't going to have 45 consecutive quality starts. And again, someone's like, how is it the bullpen's fault when Kolek blew it? The point is, it's not, Kolek is the bigger part of the problem of the game last night. The issue is that in these games in which they've lost, every game it becomes very clear, Gold, that they do not have a deep enough bullpen to cover for those games in which they have to rely on it. No, last night, the bigger issue of the game was certainly, and I'm not trying to argue this, was certainly Kolek, who gave up more than the other end. But you have to be able to cover those games. It's I go back through and I look at their losses. They lost 5-6 last night, so a 1-run game. They were tied late with the Tigers, and the bullpen eventually cost them the game, and they lost late. 1-3 to the Guardians. Again, it was 2 runs late. So it's the losses, they're not getting run out of the building in any particular game. This is not every game they lose, they get their ass kicked. No, every game it's 3-3 or 4-3 in the 6th, And the offense doesn't get one timely hit. They had two runners on, nobody out twice last night, 2 different innings. They didn't score in either of those innings. And so like that, it was the one late was the one that felt worse, where Vinny and Salvi both got on base, and then Carter Jensen struck out on a pitch 4 feet outside. And then Jack Caglione struck out on a ball 4 feet above his head. And it's like, and then immediately you're running into outs. But in the end, sometimes you have to outpitch them for the final 3 innings. And I have seen a consistent pattern this season in which if it's tied or we're up 1 and we got to outpitch them for the final 3 innings, the Royals do not win that battle very often. Like even with, and that goes back to Estevez, who's out forever now.
Yeah, I mean, now we've reached the point with Estevez, like you have to just proceed as if he's not coming back.
Oh, I know.
At one point it was like, oh, he's going to come back. Now it's probably not going to have Carlos, and if you do, it's almost just an add-on later on in the season. That's really unfortunate. He truly his offseason, we've said it over and over. His offseason, the Royals' trust in his offseason and all that, it backfired in a massive way for them, unfortunately.
It did. And look, a couple of guys got him too, but also you don't even miss that Jonathan India is gone because Nick Lofton's been a nice player. Look, I was wrong. They lost, so people don't want to hear it a lot, but I was at least wrong on Nick Lofton being a contributing member of the big league ball
Anytime
club.
There's runners on base, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he's also hitting like 300 with like a 360 on base.
Oh, he deserves credit.
You and I both were like, that's a 4A player, and if he's on your roster, it's a problem. That's genuinely how I felt.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way now. He has proven me wrong that he can be a contributing member of the team. I still don't know that I'd ever want him starting 162 games.
Right.
But I certainly think he's valuable and adds value to the team. It's always the same thing. I don't want to live or die night by night, but I do need to at some point. And I've told you, I still want them 500 by the end of the month. Now it's getting a little tighter because you're 4 or 5 games under 500 now again. And you only got 2 weeks to do it. And then you got to start turning those things around. So that one's a little frustrating last night. Definitely felt like one after they made it 5-5. I'd love to see them. They've had like 3 comebacks this year where they've come all the way back and then still lose. I'm like, can you just...
They still have more comebacks than anybody else in baseball.
I know. But it's like they're
that's
letting
not a way to
not a way to live.
Not especially this early in the season. It's one thing if you're doing that late in the year, and that's something that your whole team is rallying around. When you're this still, 25% of the way through the season, so 75% still to go. Yeah, that's not sustainable.
No,
it's one thing if you do that in the month of September, and you just all of a sudden in the month of September in a pennant race, you all of a sudden have 5 come from behind victories or something crazy like that. That's one thing. But not when that's been a big reason why you've been able to sustain and stay afloat.
Somebody says, I think it just proves that they're average. I'm not even arguing that necessarily.
Well, I think just about everybody in this division is average.
As of right now, they are an average team. Now, I pointed this out, and I don't think it's unfair. Last year, on September 3rd, the Guardians were 69-69. Okay, so it's like, that's what this division has been. At some point, it is just who gets hot last or who gets hot the longest. And what you and I are talking about is, can they just get hot the longest at this point? Bobby Wood Jr. is still playing like a star. Vinny is hitting. Maybe Salvi finally busted out of his slump last night. And so, like, for them, it felt like maybe that could have been the start of getting somewhere. And instead, they lose 2 games in a row where, like, they had a chance to win the game on Sunday and let it get away, had a chance to win the game yesterday, let it get away. So, I don't know. Just, we'll see how game 2 goes. Is it Lugo on the mound tonight? I'm going to take a look. I don't remember.
It is Lugo.
Okay. I was like, that sounds right. And then I just wasn't trusting myself. Against some guy I'm not super familiar with, and Schultz. He's a lefty, though, which has been a problem for the Royals all season long. And what do you do?
Yep.
Carter Jensen, who's been in a bit of a slump, and Jack Caglione is it the Nick Lofton, Starling Martes of the world who are going to have to win this game tonight for the Royals? It might be, because they're really careful when they got that left-handed starting pitcher on the bump.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk some Chiefs football as it pertains to Ken Walker and what is going to happen in the backfield this season, and basically who is going to be responsible for that success and what it will tell us about the coaching staff a little bit. But you may have seen this morning, it's now final. The full international slate is out. We know we get the full schedule tomorrow night. And this stuff trickles out. We all know the game at this point in time. We'll know a good chunk of the schedule probably during the show tomorrow with some of the leaks. But the Chiefs will not be going overseas this year. And I don't know about you, I'm kind of thrilled about that. I think in a year where Mahomes is coming off an injury, the season that you had, it's okay to play stateside for one season. It basically guarantees in 2027 they're probably going to be overseas. But we know the possibility was going to be that game in Spain with the Falcons in Week 9. It ends up being a Week 9 game. Instead, that'll be in Atlanta. so the Chiefs don't go to Spain this year, even though the Chiefs as an organization were strongly pushing for that to be the case. They wanted that market presence in Spain. And then the only other one technically could have been 49ers in Mexico again, and that did not happen. So it's Vikings, 49ers, and Drew's Bengals and the Falcons in Spain. So I was happy. I'm assuming most Chiefs fans are thrilled that you get a year break off this international stuff.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Although we're about to get to a point where we're all going to be playing international games every year.
Yeah, but so take one more year off. What stands out to me is that they didn't get their desire, like in that what they wanted, but also I don't need any of these games. That is a massive international slate. That's half the damn league in international. NFC, AFC teams. What matters to me more now as we get these international schedules is, are the Chiefs facing one of these teams coming back a week later? Or are the Chiefs facing one of these teams before they have to head out internationally, right? Like how will the net rest to me might matter more than other parts of the schedule making, because I do think there is something to your opponent is healthier or more rested or had to travel, like
the net rest is already coming to play week 1 for the Chiefs, though, with Monday night.
I know. I pointed it out. It was why I didn't like them on Monday Night Football. Mahomes coming off an injury, and then all of a sudden they're going to be going into a short week, still coming off an injury. It's not like that changes. So that creates a different problem. I will say, it is not the most exciting group of teams. I do still think that there's an international flavor of on some of the actual matchups, but they're getting better. It's not all Cardinals Saints, but there are still Saints. Saints Steelers.
I mean, look,
no thanks.
Rams 49ers.
Bengals Falcons. I'm not even all that interested.
Rams 49ers is great. Ravens Cowboys is strong. Colts Commanders.
That's pretty bad.
Probably weak. They're Eagles Jags. Depends if you believe the Jags are going to continue what they were able to do last year. And I don't think the Bengals Falcons is a bad matchup at all. I think that could be really good by the time we get to week 9. Also, assuming the quarterbacks are healthy. And then you take a look at Patriots, Lions, Vikings. And I actually don't, Cody, the only one that I think is actually really bad might be Colts, Commanders, and that's it.
Saints, Steelers. Come on, I don't want anything
Depends
to
who
do
the
with
quarterbacks
that.
are.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like Tyler Shuck's at least one of the quarterbacks.
Do we think it's going to be Penix or Tua?
Tua.
In Atlanta.
I think
Because I think in the graphic, didn't they put Penix?
Did they?
I think they put Penix in the graphic with Joe Burrow.
I will say it is dirty work for 49ers fans whose players are always hurt, who are always trying to get something together in the toughest division in football. They have to do 2 separate international games 10 weeks apart. They don't even get the break after Australia. They just get the couple extra days, and then they're the final international game of the year, so we know they'll have a week 12 bye. They got to go all the way out and play the 49ers or the Vikings too. That schedule stinks. You'd rather be the Jags and just live there for 2 weeks. Then have to go 2 separate times. And I get the Mexico one's
from San
not
Francisco,
as long.
that's not a long flight at all.
No, if anything, it might be less than them just traveling for a Giants game. But it does come with extra stuff.
Probably.
Like it or not, it's like the hotel account, everything's just different on those international games. And they typically have some extra stuff just kind of around it. That's all. But it still stinks.
We're just getting started here on a Wednesday. It's Cody and Gold. Up next, let's talk about Ken Walker and the expectations around that run game, plus a fake contender. Who is it in the NFL?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Time's running out to get 10% off your home painting project. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event before May 15th. And if you've been putting off painting, now's the time. From scuffs inside to peeling paint outside, protect your home with CertaPro painters. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand. And each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Deli Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at TellyTire.com.
Graduation season and Memorial Day are here. And whether you're celebrating a new grad or honoring the holiday, Smokehouse Barbecue makes it easy. Planning a big bash? We do large parties right. Host your crew in one of our private banquet rooms, or let us bring the party to you with professional delivery and catering for any gathering. If you're going to fire up the grill, don't forget the sides that steal the show. Grab a pint of Smokehouse famous beans and their amazing mac and cheese as well. Visit them in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, or at smokehousebbq.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, just getting started on a Wednesday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll talk a little bit about fake contenders in the NFL here in 8 minutes or so. Don't forget, video stream up and running now in 4K. It is crystal clear. I can't believe how great it looks, actually, compared to what we've had in the past.
Somebody said yesterday it's like no longer the 10th best-looking midday, mid-market show. He said, with the new cameras, we got to move up a couple of slots.
Or down. I don't know. Or down.
Yeah.
The way, depending on how you want to look at it.
Exposure point.
Going to start having to have a makeup team here in the building for the camera quality that we have.
Just like a NASCAR pit crew, just someone comes in here and...
Yeah, just a little touch-up every hour or so. You guys can watch on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. Also, Jay Southland Tow Service text line is open, 913-586-7965. At some point, Cody's going to tell me... Truly, guys, I have no clue. Nope. He said he pitched us for something.
Yeah, I have an idea
signed me up for
to join as a group.
Okay.
And the text line, Drew, don't tell him yet, text line. The text line, when I pitched it to them and to the chats yesterday, was very receptive to the idea.
I don't know if there was anybody that didn't like the idea, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it was like almost borderline unanimous. You're going to think I'm insane, but borderline unanimous on the text line is in support. So I think you'll be excited about it later on
You think I'll be excited?
I don't know.
You think
I don't know what you're going to think about it. The text line did correctly point out that essentially there's no guardrails when it just is me. I get myself in more trouble.
And as far as we know, it sticks to the above board.
Okay,
it's above board.
It is
the boss
above
has
board.
cleared it.
Just as long as I do it the correct way. I don't think there's any.
Okay.
There's a way in which we could go below board, but we're going to try to keep it above board.
I can't wait to find out about this.
So we'll find out a little bit later on the show. I'll do that in the 11 o'clock hour, just so we can get you maybe the top of the 11 o'clock. So in 30 minutes, I'll let you know. But we obviously continue to look at the Chiefs' offense and their off season, and it felt like it was supposed to be an off season of change or anything outside of it. I was thinking more and more about Ken Walker, and genuinely, I will not blame Brett Veach if this doesn't work at all. And you're like, well, how could that be? He's the guy who just gave the guy $15 million a year. Because if Kenneth Walker doesn't work in Kansas City, this is the coaching staff final, in my opinion, ultimatum and test scheme to, we gave you a player. That player is good. You now need to adjust your scheme and make that player good. Because I would say that has been a consistent oversight over the last couple of years between, and we've talked about this, front office and coaching staff. There's players that we think can play. Players the front office thinks can play. And then when it comes down to the coaching staff, they won't play him. Well, Walker is not the kind of player. If they try to play him out of scheme and it doesn't look as good as it did in Seattle, then that's on the coaching staff, not the guy who signed him. They got you the best running back available. It is on you to adjust to make it work.
Well, look, I think there has to be the connection between coaching staff and front office. We've discussed that the last offseason or two and how there needs to be more of a connection there and everybody on the same page. But it was clear, I think, from the front office to the coaching staff on down, everybody recognized the run game has to be more explosive, has to be more, quote-unquote, complimentary, especially with your quarterback coming off an ACL and LCL injury. I'm with you, though, on the, let's say we're 3 months into the season, it's November, December, and Kenneth Walker's having a quote-unquote disappointing year. My guess is it's going to be something scheme-related more than it is Kenneth Walker, right? Like, I would be pretty stunned if it was, it's Kenneth Walker's fault. Yes, he's getting compensated a very, very high dollar amount, but we know that he has said openly that he's more comfortable running out of center, when they're under center as a team. And so if they try to make him fully an RPO or a shotgun type of back, and it's not as strong, well, they have to adapt to your player as well. And so that'll be a question. I think they will. Like, I know we have questions about it.
I'd like to see it before I declare it from the mountaintop that I'm 100% sure.
But I will say, I think you're right that if it becomes a problem where the production doesn't fit what you're expecting out of the run game, I'm going to think it's Andy Heck's run scheme, Andy Reid's run scheme, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
There's too many names there, though, and specifically Eric Bieniemy. The one thing about his entire coaching career, we've said it, I think he's the best running back coach in football, and I know he's an OC now, and they have DeMarco Murray as the running back coach. That combination, DeMarco Murray, Eric Bieniemy, there is no reason the run game shouldn't work.
Other than if they're just like, we're running you out of shotgun all the time. Sorry, you liked it the other way.
Right.
Well, then, and we talked about this at the time of the signing, but it genuinely is like, to me, it's like a test of does the organization still adjust the way that we talk about it publicly? Because Mitchell Schwartz had pointed out they have historically changed their style of offense every couple of years. But this is the third year in a row that the wide receivers haven't changed. This is the 2 years in a row they didn't change anything about how they were running their passing game. So this is year 3. This is when you would normally change anyway. You signed a running back who historically has not run in the style of running scheme that you have adopted over the last couple of years. It is on you to take your system around this player, and especially because it's even easier because Mahomes coming off the injury. For the first month, you should be a more run-heavy team than you've been probably ever under Andy Reid. It can slowly adjust back into different norms. But for the first month, you should be run-heavier anyway, shouldn't you? And so, I don't know.
Well, I think they will protect
I'm very
Mahomes,
curious to see how they use Ken Walker because I do think it's the ultimate test of if you're willing to adjust your scheme because he hasn't been running the way that you guys run your offense.
Yeah, the results, of course, are all that anybody's going to care about because it's not even a numbers game on the rush attempts or anything. There's no scenario, even with Mahomes coming off the injury, where I want Kenneth Walker carrying it 26 times. Okay, that's
no.
Or, that's.
I just meant run more than normal, not run the most.
And this is where during training camp, at least, who's the who's the number 2 running back ultimately out of camp, and how much do they lean on that back? Whether it's DeMarcado, who I think will be officially the number 2 running back by the time we leave St. Joe, or is it Emmett Johnson? What's their role? What's their trust factor there? And how that can balance out the run game, and who's going to be more of the pass-catching back, and how much are they going to have Kenneth Walker be that as well out of the run game, and all that connects. And so
that's a really missing part of their offense that they used to have.
Having a back that can...
The screen game used to be a real thing for them. They got into it a little bit with Brashard Smith last year, but, man, do you remember when that was like the thing we'd brag about Andy all the time? Oh, he's the best screen game coach in the league. Oh, they use the running backs better, but, oh, those guys are just, they run open. And look, it's pretty easy to explain it away and be like, the running backs have stunk. Why has that gone away? They don't have good running backs, and they haven't had good running backs in years. They had a pretty okay one in Isaiah Pacheco, who I got to say, in retrospect, some of his success was pretty basic. It was based on the idea that the offense, his best year was when the offense was still good. He didn't have as much attention on him. It was easier to operate inside the system because he wasn't the focus of what other defenses were doing. But because since they shifted away from everyone's closer to the line of scrimmage against the Chiefs, weird. He was worse and incapable of, making those things done on his own or winning one-on-one. I am very curious about the Fed. We talked about it a little bit when it happened, but it's just, I'm always a little bit worried, in fairness, that at some point people don't make adjustments anymore. Andy Reid's never shown that in his history, but of course it's a fear. For the same reason people just get stuck in habits and don't want things to change, don't want stadiums to move or new airports or anything else. Like, sometimes people just get comfortable with the way that they operate. That's all. And the Chiefs, for the last couple of years, have been a little too comfortable with the way that they operate. Good old Kenneth Walker. Very excited. We're still, months away from actually seeing him play in a football game?
What do we shoot? First preseason game is what, August? Going to be like August 15th or
We're
something?
only like 2 months away from driving up to St. Joe. It's not...
That is true.
It's not as far as you think. It's usually like the last week of July when Drew's out at the beach trying to hold down his spot. I saw Drew. Bad news for the resort goes. There was a massive lawsuit for a guy who was at one of those, like beach town resorts where people like stick their towels up at 6 a.m. and then leave it. He won a lawsuit saying that you did not adequately provide seating available, or you could not promise the seating available that your listing says. It's false advertisement because essentially you allow these people to save seats all day even if they're not in them. You have to either change your policy or pay me because it's false advertisement. Guy won.
I mean, I think
we don't leave the stuff up overnight though. Like we always clear out.
Drew's at a public beach. So like, if the guy that sued, wasn't that at an all-inclusive resort?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's different. Like if I'm like
Dusty, just a public beach.
Yeah, like Dusty's in Jamaica right now. I'm guessing he's at an all-inclusive or something. The beach there, people know though, like if you want to get a good spot and everything, you still got to get your towels out there maybe at 9 a.m. or something. Otherwise, there's a chance you won't have enough chairs.
Policies might change. This guy's going to win a lawsuit against it. Like part of it is if you're never going to sit in them, that's messed up, man. It's messed up. Like if you're not going to actually sit in them, like at least at some point. But yeah, people are always trying to save the spot. Said he had his kids had to sit on the ground. Whole thing. Drew, did you guys get your spot back last year? It was 2 years ago, right? That somebody stole
it's
your
never
spot
our spot. It's just what happened was
you would stay there multiple days in a row, and then
we essentially didn't get out early enough. I guess is the way that it went. Is basically it. It is weird though because normally when we go set up stuff, there's not that many people out there on the beach for whatever reason. These people were, and they picked the spot that we traditionally go to, which is fine.
Tough.
But normally we always pack up, and I don't think you're able. I don't think you're allowed to just leave your stuff there.
Can't imagine. It'd likely get stolen overnight if you did that. That's when the people in these resort places get up at like 6 a.m. and throw their towel down on a chair.
Yeah.
But worth keeping an eye on. I've got a random question of the day later that involves a legal situation. A big public one. In fairness, one I believe you and I both had tracked and talked about on the show at one point. So we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show as well. With the NFL season or the schedule officially releasing Thursday night, so obviously on Friday we'll have a big chunk of the conversation. Over on SB Nation, they put up a poll and said, which NFL team screams fake contender next season? Now, it doesn't have to be limited to just the 4 teams they listed here, although I'll give them to you because I want to know what your answer is. Of all the teams we know right now, we're just talking about the AFC and how, like, bouncy and weird it is. Which of these teams, these 4 or an additional one, do you think screams fake contender? They listed Broncos, Eagles, Patriots, and Bears. Now, the Patriots won it by a mile. I happen to think they won this poll by a mile because Mike Vrabel's in a lot of hot water off the field, and people are just like looking for a reason to put him on the list. And so I'm curious, would that be those 4 teams be the ones you list, or would it be somebody else you think?
No, I mean, I think the Broncos are absolutely a contender. I don't think they're. It doesn't mean you think they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but
they're a contender.
Absolutely,
I agree with that. I 100%
The
agree
Eagles,
with that.
like my feeling on Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, the stories that came out this offseason, maybe he's buying in a bit more, he being Jalen Hurts. But if they lose A.J. Brown, I told you, I think the Giants are going to be tougher in that division than people think. And the Cowboys open up with the Giants and all that stuff. It's weird, though. I still can't say the Eagles are not a contender on top of that. I can have questions about them. But I honestly think every single one of these teams are contenders.
So who would be your
I don't
fake
think they're
contender?
fake.
Team that people take serious that you don't take nearly as serious.
Well, I'm back. It's good to be back on the show.
Yeah.
And this is not me trolling you. Cincinnati, absolutely, Drew.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right back.
Cincinnati, yeah.
Look, in fairness, they've still not done
Do we even
enough to fix their
consider them
roster.
to be contenders?
Well,
Who else?
I think because
saying
they
they're
have Joe
contenders?
Burrow, people tend to at least include them in the conversation.
They've had a good offseason. I will not dispute that at all. They finally addressed areas that they should have addressed for years, defensively in particular. But yeah, until Zach Taylor can prove to me he can win early on in the season on a regular basis, until Joe Burrow can prove that he can be healthy by the time they play in Week 9 of the season and is still around, they're not a real contender for me. They got to prove a lot. They can certainly become that, but they're in the fake contender category for me.
I think it's the Jags. And not just because of the Jaguars and its low-hanging fruit, as in we don't take them serious as a franchise, so it took a long time before people took them serious. They won a lot of impressive games last year. They beat the Chiefs. The Texans were salty. The 49ers won 12 games, and they beat them. They were obviously tough. But I'm not going to just forget that they were picking top 2 in the NFL draft 2 years ago, and in a career year for their defense and in a career year for Trevor Lawrence, yeah, I'm not surprised they managed to stack up wins. They also finished the schedule. This is where the Jaguars are fake, and you should realize this. The end of their schedule, here's their winning streak as they got to 12 wins. Cardinals, Titans, Colts with no Daniel Jones, Jets. They did beat the Broncos. That was a tough team. Colts and Titans. Their schedule is what made them tough. They have a good defense. Defenses don't live every year. They had a good year on offense, but they're still not all the sum of their parts yet. That's a team that I don't take serious. Maybe I should, but I feel like the AFC South will just be won by somebody else again this year. The Texans will probably win the AFC South. The Jags may be a wild card team. I honestly wouldn't be stunned to see them miss. I wouldn't be stunned to see a miss. And for a team that was considered a serious contender last year, that's the one I'd probably bump off the list. I could be talked into Chicago being a phony because I haven't seen Caleb Williams take a step yet, but still, I think the Jags are my answer.
I could see out of the options they provided, I think the Patriots, it makes sense, but the jury's still kind of out on them the way that it is the Bears too. You need to see it another year to see if they really are or not. I think the Chargers, people keep on talking about the.
I'm talking myself into the Chargers. I'm going the other way.
I know, yeah. You and Bink yesterday both were doing that. It feels to me like they're fake contenders, and maybe it's they have to prove it to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe. Similar to the Joe Burrow needs to show he can be healthy. The Chargers have to show they can win a playoff game to me before I can even consider them to be a contender.
Okay, so
because they've been there. They're talented on paper. They made improvements, but I need to see it to believe it's sort of a situation. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid there.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Chargers. I don't know if it's the playoff part of it though. If we're just talking about being a contender, they won't have an opportunity to prove they're a contender until the playoffs. Right. And if that's the case, for me, it's in the regular season. If Justin Herbert's playing high quality football, then go win the damn division. Go prove you can actually win the AFC West.
Oh, if they win the division,
that to me would be the telltale sign. And then the obvious. Sure. I'm with you a little bit though. Yes, I think the Chargers are going to be very good next year. But at the same time, I now wonder if we're overinflating it because Mike McDaniel's there. And now, the love fest for Mike McDaniel's got a little...
The wide receivers still have questions.
Got a little too crazy. And so now, Mike McDaniel, the quote from this past weekend or whatever, he's he went back and watched every single throw of Herbert's career. And now they have another tight end and they're going to run multiple tight end sets and all that. My guess is the offense will be decent, but what about the defense? Who lost Jesse Minter, their defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach in Baltimore? So I don't think it's the same old Chargers necessarily, but I understand why there's a lot of talk about them. But this is still a Chargers team that I think has some questions to just definitively put them in the contender category. This goes back to my overarching thing about the Chiefs heading into the season is like it is so wide open. This is not like years past where the Chiefs enter and they're clearly one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the AFC. They're in the wash with everybody else. Now, you can take that on one hand and say, well, if they're in the wash with everybody else, then why can't they be? I take it on the other side and say, I think there's a bunch of other teams that have an easier path to becoming a top 2 or 3 team in the AFC than the Chiefs do.
It is fascinating. I'm just looking at some of his numbers, and then I have a question regarding Mike McDaniel. Justin Herbert hasn't thrown for more than 26 touchdowns.
I know, it's weird.
The last 4 years. The last time he threw for more than 26 touchdowns was 2021.
The reason why people think he'll get better is he'll get hit less in Mike McDaniel's system. He gets hit about as much as any quarterback.
Sacked 54. He was sacked for the most times in his career last year, 54 times.
But it's
they had the injuries too.
Look, it is always concerning to me when the quarterback's best season of their career by a mile is like really early. His 2 best years as a pro were years 1 and year 2, and he's technically just been worse since then. The teams have been better though. So like at which version is he just like reining it in order for the greater good, which is 2 11-win seasons in a row, which is the 2 best winning marks they've had under Herbert. So like it still works. I don't want to pretend like just because
Harbaugh though. That's what you're seeing is Harbaugh, who's a great coach, but
he knows how to win.
Go back to Michigan with JJ McCarthy and everything, which makes Harbaugh look even better now seeing how terrible JJ McCarthy is. But that offense is still always going to be a little more run heavy than you would maybe have with you would think with a Justin Herbert type. And so that was always going to temper down the numbers, which is why I can't get on board. Anybody that thinks Justin Herbert's going to win an MVP award with Harbaugh, I think is crazy. I don't think it's possible. The numbers are not going to be there.
He has to win the division.
Do you also think that, so Justin Herbert's thrown 3,438 passes in his career. Do you really think Mike McDaniel actually went through and watched all of his passes?
He might have, but
I think he actually might have.
So we'll talk about a couple of the other teams. People mentioning the Packers and the Lions. I think he's probably telling the truth, but I will say, the reason why I think he's telling the truth is head coaches are sometimes stupid and they love to waste time. It is a waste of time.
He isn't even the head coach either.
It is a waste of time to watch every single throw of the quarterback.
I don't know if it is.
Before you play. You don't need to watch every throw.
I don't know if that's a waste of time.
You can watch 1,000 throws and it accomplishes the same goal.
Yeah, but
watching the other 2,600 doesn't do anything.
But you just said it yourself. Justin Herbert, his first year is not necessarily operating the same way he is in year 5 or 6.
But then just watch the last 1,000.
Yeah.
You don't need rookie year Justin Herbert throws to get a sense of now Justin
I don't know.
Herbert.
I mean, if I'm
just watch a sample of some of all of them.
If I'm the OC, though, I want to know everything possible about my quarterback.
The fact that he's the OC and not the head coach maybe changes it a little bit for him.
That'd be boring as hell.
It's his job, though.
Cody, you mentioned the Packers. It feels like the Packers have been the fake contenders over the last couple of years now, just because we've talked up Jordan Love the first year as a starter. They almost made it to the NFC title game, and then they haven't really sniffed it since then.
And they had such a good defense and added Micah Parsons in the middle of the year. We're like, oh my God, they're going to be
unstoppable. After 3 weeks, we were claiming them to be like the Super Bowl favorites in the NFC.
Did they? I mean, they didn't even make noise in the playoffs, really.
No, they lost to the Bears, right, in the first round? Or the wild card?
So this is honestly my biggest complaint about Justin Herbert, going back to him for a minute, is I still don't know if he is a big-time player in a big-time moment. I know that about Josh Allen. I actually feel like I'm more confident that if it were fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go, down 6, I might be more confident Bo Nix would score a touchdown there than Justin Herbert. Like
that sounds crazy, but you actually just based on
numbers
his
last year.
My single biggest complaint about Herbert.
The numbers last year bear that out.
Yeah, and look, Bo Nix, small sample size, but Justin Herbert, I got plenty of a sample size of him not showing up in big time games. And I'm not saying he's never made a big time throw to win him a football game. I just think he does it a lot less consistently than some of the other great quarterbacks around him. I've got more sample size.
Yeah, the part I would like to see under Harbaugh with Herbert would be, can he be fully healthy through the first month and a half of the season? It seems like he always gets a big hit in week 3, and then he's playing the rest of the year.
It's like, his shoulder's
all banged up. And I know no quarterback is 100% healthy all year. I'm not suggesting that he can't play through an injury. I'm just
he's always seemed more serious.
Yeah, broken rib or whatever. And it's just stuff that truly mechanically is going to affect you as a quarterback all year. I'm not talking about he twisted his ankle. I'm talking about more serious stuff.
Like he hurt his hand or his shoulder, or like you said, broken ribs or some version. He's tough. He plays through it, but yeah. I mean, there's probably a few answers this year because I think the league is at a standpoint in the AFC where everybody just kind of feels the same.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk more about the Chiefs' schedule. We'll find the full schedule out tomorrow night, but we do at least know now where Week 1 against the Broncos will be. Of course, it's going to be at Arrowhead. We'll talk more about that in this weird, not conspiracy, this weird conversation that was happening yesterday. I saw
all of Denver feels disrespected
on social media, which I don't get it. I didn't know the rules changed all of a sudden in the offseason, so we'll get to that in just a little bit. I saw something, though, this morning, and we know the World Cup, Kansas City's coming up, and I was talking to some friends yesterday about the Fan Fest stuff and trying to figure out what dates we want to do the Fan Festival, which, we know we're going to go to a match or two. But Miller Lite is debuting a soccer ball beer holder. Now, are you interested in this? It fits 12
on
beers.
Its premise, yes.
12 beers. It'll be a Miller Time MVP match ball. It's going to go on sale for $19.75. So that does not, of course, include the beer. But $19.75 to hold 12 beers.
I mean,
are you going to utilize are you going to have people over your house? You're just going to have a soccer ball in the middle of the room with 12 beers hanging out, or what?
I got to say, it does, if you were playing a slow pitch softball, but this for soccer, you go play at the Soccer Dome in North Kansas City for your beer league buddies for soccer. Jackpot. I mean, perfect. The problem is like anything else, it's not like it's refrigerated. I might get through all 12
It's not a
of these.
cooler. Yeah, it's not a cooler.
It's not a cooler. It's just a soccer ball in which beers slide in it. I don't know. I'm kind of interested, but you can't kick it. So it's just really for
it's for your World Cup party, basically. You're going to have people over and you want to...
So that they can post something on Instagram
or TikTok.
That you own it.
Yeah, it's basically, are you looking for a cool or fun way to display your beer? It just seems like, I don't know. People will
Feels
buy
like
it.
a perfect Cody Gold garage sale item down the road, so we'll see.
Okay.
But it's also I don't know. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. What's the issue with it? It seems silly enough. I don't think it's practical in any way. You would not enjoy it. I guess my question is, does it float like a soccer ball does? Could I take this thing on the lake?
I guess this is hard plastic. I'm guessing this is like a hard plastic soccer ball. It's not actually like a soccer ball material, right? This is hard plastic.
It says it will come with a display stand so it can easily move around while watching must-see matches.
I mean, if it's soccer ball material, then that's different. That's actually kind of cooler. I was thinking it just was like a plastic mat, but you might be right. It says match ball.
It's a match ball. It says it's 1.5 times the size of a normal soccer ball, so the beers fit.
But for $20, I'm guessing it's plastic, though, right? $20 if it was a real soccer material, I think.
How do we know that? I'm looking at it now. How do we know the beers? If you're holding the ball and it's the beer is almost angled down. How does it not?
I'm guessing they stick in there pretty good, kind of like a can koozie, where you have to give it a little. You have to wiggle it a little bit to get it out of there, don't you think?
I wonder if you. So I would be interested in this just
cans, okay.
Someone says, "Can you freeze the soccer ball to keep the beers cold?"
Huh.
That might be a creative idea.
It would look like a Sputnik if you put tall boys in it.
Yeah, I am looking at the photo. Some dude's just holding on to it. I think it's plastic, Cody.
I think it'd be fun. Here's the thing.
It's got to be.
I think it'd be fun to fill it up one time. We're all watching the match together. Fill it up one time, and we all pass it and take one beer out of it. And then I'd probably never want to use it again. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty fun for that one video, Gold, where we're all pulling a beer out of the soccer ball, and then we'd probably not care ever again, right? Again, unless it floats and I can just put that thing on the lake,
Aren't some of the cans also upside down? No, that seems problematic.
Well, some will be upside down until you turn it.
But then you're shaking the beer.
I don't think, just as long as you're not actively shaking it, I imagine turning a beer from side to side is not going to make it foam up on you.
Okay.
Well, that.
I'm not buying it.
Probably work.
You're
not buying it. I will say the price is not terrible. $20. I'd have thought it'd somehow been more.
Someone says you guys aren't giving this thing justice. It looks sick. I mean, it's creative. I'll give Miller Lite a lot of credit. Here we are. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's very creative. I don't know. Again, I'm not spending $20 on it. That's all.
Yeah, and I think if somebody gave me one, I'd use it a couple of times.
Yeah, if Miller Lite wants to drop one off, we'll
give it a test for a fan club. We'll throw 12 beers in it and see what happens.
All right, up next, let's talk about the Chiefs playing at home in Week 1. Is that the right decision? And what is this crap out of Denver about them deserving to host a game?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather that you know is on the way. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. That's 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit climatecontrolkc.com today. Climate Control, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
It's been life-changing. It really has. Went up to see QC Kinetics. I could feel the difference the way I got out of bed. I could feel the difference throughout the day. I could feel the difference while I was playing golf.
Let's rewind. That's an elated QC Kinetics patient, David Smoke, a very active TV and radio sports personality who loves to run and golf.
I started to notice some aches and pains, an aching, throbbing pain in my right hip. I didn't want to get cut on. I've had MRIs, and it showed no structural damage. I've tried the steroid injections, and that just seemed like it kicked the can down the road.
It's that endless cycle that leaves you continually fighting joint pain in your hips, knees, shoulders, and back. But this is where it ends with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
I've tried it all. The only thing that's different is me going to QC Kinetics. I believe in it because it's worked.
Don't waste another day going in circles. Make QC Kinetics your first call. The consultation is absolutely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
$11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day here in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Also, Chiefs Red Half Hour, 30 minutes away. Coming up at 12:30 today, Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, is going to join us. We'll talk some Royals baseball. Of course, the Royals dropped game one of the series yesterday against the White Sox. I thought they blew it. Thought there was a great opportunity to steal game one, especially with the way the offense started yesterday against the White Sox. So some more Royals coming your direction. But let's talk Chiefs football and the schedule. And then we'll find out what Cody signed me up for. That
Yeah, you'll love it.
That's not.
You'll love it.
That's not a good sign.
It'll be fine. It'll be fun for everybody. I learned something, and it invited an opportunity for this show.
Okay.
To be Trailblazers, I think, if you want to look at it that way, maybe.
Oh gosh.
No, that doesn't excite you.
Video stream also up and running. We'll get the cameras turned around. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. So we'll have that coming up in just a little bit. But the Chiefs, we now know, will host Denver on Monday night. I know during the show yesterday for you guys, you knew at that point the Chiefs were going to play Denver on Monday night.
And there was a chance they hosted in Kansas City. They were saying they didn't know yet.
But it's going to be at Arrowhead. And for starters, I actually think Monday Night Football to open up the season 15 years ago, we would have just gone crazy for in Kansas City. We would have been pumped. We would have been jumping off the couch. We would have been so fired up. And now the spoiled Chiefs fan in me, admittedly as well, is like, oh, I don't want Monday Night Football week one. No. I don't want that. And also, I don't really want it at Arrowhead week one because given the fact that there's a lot of unknown and that Mahomes is coming off the injury, now I assume he's going to play week one, especially now with the schedule.
I guess, but I think they're just taking a chance. But I still would prefer they did not play Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And the Broncos defense, as good as a defense as they are, one, I would have liked the Broncos game just not to be week one. I think we discussed that. But the other part of it is I'd rather just play in Denver and get that part of it out of the way. And look, you lose week one at Denver, you get the return trip. Now you got at home the advantage of that, but Mahomes' his first game back, if he's back, and all these other questions. It's early. It's May 13th, so call me crazy for this. As of right this second, I would be picking the Chiefs to lose at home on Monday Night Football to Denver Broncos.
It's early enough you don't have to make that decision, thankfully, but it's not a good schedule turn for them. I thought, and I'd said yesterday, I thought they'd get to avoid. Now, I love they avoided international, so we can talk about that. But, I didn't want them having a weird Monday Night Football game where maybe they're starting quarterbacks available and it's the home game. I'd rather be the road one. If Mahomes isn't available, well, hell, losing a game in Denver, there's no shame in that early in the season. So if it's going to be Justin Fields, I'd rather you lose the on-the-road one than try to get Justin Fields a win at home, and then maybe you're down 1-0 in the series to them, and it was the home game you lost and everything outside of it. What I was more surprised by yesterday was the outpouring of Broncos fans bitching about not getting to host it. First off, I just want to say that's never been a thing. Winning your division and then hosting at home week 1 has never been a precedent set by the NFL. That's not like a rule. That's not like the team who wins the Super Bowl and gets to host the first game of the year. That's not a thing. It's never been a thing. The Chiefs many times in winning the division did not host a home game week 1 the following year. So, like, that's just not a thing.
Right.
You're not being disrespected by it. But they've also taken it as they own the Chiefs. Bo Nix owns the Chiefs. I'm like, he's 1-0 against Mahomes. Relax a little. Chill.
It was bizarre. Kyle
weird.
Brandt and others nationally were making the case, other than just in Denver. And I get why in Denver they wanted the game at home. I understand fans and everything. I'm talking about I was surprised by the national media reaction to that. It didn't make any sense. You're right. There's never been a precedent. Also, they play twice. It's not like this is the only time. This is not Chiefs and Bills, and it's like, oh my gosh, the Bills should get an opportunity to play. They're not going to have a chance to play them for another 3 years or something. The Chiefs and Broncos play twice a year. So the game's going to be at Arrowhead and in Denver. This deserve it for week 1 on the Monday Night Football stage is hilarious. The Broncos, you know how they could have guaranteed this game was in Denver? Could have won the damn Super Bowl. That's the answer.
Didn't even get to the Super Bowl. So you won a division in a single playoff game, and you would favorable treatment forever? Like that. It's just, again, it's not how it works anyway. It's never been the precedent set. They don't owe you anything for it. But also, and I think Nick Wright had said it, and I think that this is more than fair. Nick Wright had said this about it, and at least talking about the chirping coming from, we own Mahomes.
Did you see Joe Burrow last week at the Met Gala? Did you see Herbert in the music video? Did you see Mahomes working out, practicing? Just saying. Chiefs Broncos week 1 on Monday Night Football. NFL pretty confident that both quarterbacks gonna be healthy post off-season surgery. Mahomes with the knee, Bo Nix with the ankle. See a lot of chirping going on out there. Broncos owning Mahomes or Bo Nix. Bo Nix has beat Mahomes once in his whole career, and Patrick Mahomes is 13-2 lifetime against the Broncos. Now he started 11-0 lifetime against the Broncos, so he is just 2-2 in his last 4. So good for them.
And I guess that's it.
That doesn't mean the Chiefs should host it, though. They
were talking about
what's that even about?
It turned into we should host it, and then it was after they realized they weren't going to host it, it's we own him anyway. We own the Chiefs and we own Mahomes because Bo Nix is 2-0 against the Chiefs, 1 game against Chris Oladokun.
Yeah, my point is not that the Chiefs should be the team that has to host it. It's just that you sure as hell can't claim Denver is the city that should be hosting it either. It is what it is. It's the NFL scheduling committee comes up and the TV networks can fight over what they want. I was surprised, though, admittedly. I know you guys talked about this, I'm sure, yesterday, but just there is the dice roll. Now, I expect Mahomes to play week 1 as well, but there is this scenario, and it's not 5%. It's not even 10%.
I mean, 50-50.
Where both Bo Nix and Mahomes are not playing in that game. There is a real possibility. I would not bet on that happening, but I can tell you this: it's certainly not 0%. It's definitely not 5%. That
Bink
Justin Fields against what's his name, Trevor Siemian or whoever their backup
Stidham?
is. Stidham.
Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
Bink and I are maybe the most optimistic in the city about Mahomes playing. Bink and I are both 90% sure he will be playing in week 1.
I think it's 60%.
I think the fact that he's thrown at OTAs and he's already within the 9 to 12 month window originally from the injury, he's gonna be playing. I'm very, very confident in that. Bo Nix, though, the look of his leg doesn't look good at all. Mahomes' knee might even look better than Bo Nix's leg at this point.
Look, I think they probably both are playing. Percentage-wise, if you're asking, after the schedule came out, it went up for me because I still think there's conversations that happen. So before, maybe I was with Cody 65%, 70%. I'm probably 80-something% sure now that Mahomes is playing week 1.
I'm still I'm going to temper excitement and just assume that ESPN decided they'd take the chance. You and I talked about this when we knew some of the opponents, and I said, week 2 or 3, they'll absolutely be in a primetime game because somebody will take the risk, load up the schedule, and hope that Mahomes is ready by week 2 or 3. I didn't think anybody would take the chance week 1. ESPN was like, screw it. Now on every single platform, and I think some of it is a bigger company thing. ESPN has a job, and their job is to get people to watch their show. And now, from May 13th until September 14th, they get to sit on a panel show and say, will Mahomes be ready by week 1? And we have the game, by the way, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Some of it is a business decision. I thought they'd wait a week. I thought they'd try week 2 or something. I don't know. I just didn't think it'd be week 1 by the time. I was just shocked at the disrespect from Denver fans feel like somehow winning a division entitles you to whatever preferable scheduling you'd prefer.
Do we now think week 2 is almost guaranteed to be the Jets?
Yes. Jets or Cardinals or Colts. Do they have them on the schedule? No, not them. whatever bad team.
They're not opening up with 2 division games in a row, right? We agree. So it's not going to be the Chargers or the Raiders.
And the Royals play a home game at night. I think we already looked at this on Sunday night. They play like a 6:30 game on Sunday night, week 2. So there's at least
Chiefs
a
Cardinals
3 o'clock
game.
or something.
Noon Chiefs Cardinals game.
Something like that.
Because is the Cardinals at home or on the road? Do you guys remember?
That one I don't remember. Let's see.
Because the Chiefs are going to open up at home. Doesn't mean they can't have a home game in week 2, but a road teams would be other than the division, would be the Bills, the Rams, the Dolphins, Seahawks, Falcons, Bengals. I mean, they could play Cincinnati week 2 or something. That'd be kind of crazy.
No, both of those are at home. At Miami. There you go. There's your week 2 game. At Miami. It'll be.
What are you talking about?
The Chiefs schedule? Am I looking at it wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, I am looking at the wrong.
I was like, what? Miami? They play Miami on the road.
I was looking at the wrong schedule. I had the wrong year. I was like, Miami. I was like, I don't think they have
the home games this year, of course, the division, and then Patriots, Jets, Cardinals, Niners, Colts.
Okay.
They wouldn't start out home back-to-back, would they?
Teams sometimes do. I would be surprised, too, but we've seen. I could go back and last year, I think there were multiple teams that did, yeah.
It definitely happens, and I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't predict it either. My guess is that, it's some weaker opponent in week 2, and that the ESPN will already steal the he's returned thunder is what they're going for, so we'll see which version of that they get. All right, so the text line has been a little quieter today. So
what's going on? What did you guys do to the text line?
Nothing.
The people are not texting in as much today.
Text line was quiet yesterday, too, until, Drew, I suggested we do something as a show. So I've already started down the rabbit hole, I'll say, of some of the things that would need to be organized and acquired in order to accomplish this.
Okay.
But I learned on Monday night, so I brought it up on Tuesday. I learned on Monday night of stadium policy as it relates to different stadiums because of a social media account talking about all the different ways in stadiums and things I didn't realize. Like, for instance, you can bring like a Ziploc bag full of peanuts.
Yes.
But what I learned doing this...
I've seen people bring Texas Roadhouse peanuts to the Royals game.
So what I learned, though, is that this doesn't really prohibit any type of food. And there was an online account tracking the stadiums at the time in which you can bring in a Ziploc bag, a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of spaghetti. And I think that as a group, and everyone's in, that we're all going to go to Kauffman Stadium. We're going to sit between first base and right field. We're going to call ourselves Little Italy. And we're all going to eat spaghetti together inside a Kauffman Stadium out of Ziploc bags. Because why not? We need a little whimsy in our life and fun. And the text line was all in yesterday. I'm going to need your support here now, or Alex is never going to believe me. 913-586-7965. Who's with me? As we head to Kauffman Stadium, as I learned their food policy allows you to bring in a Ziploc bag full of spaghetti, which seems insane to me. But I think that we should exploit this loophole.
Where did this come from? Because I saw on social media a week ago, somebody brought a disgusting bag of chili into a baseball stadium.
Chili?
And I said,
this is just an account who is tracking the number of stadiums in which you can bring spaghetti.
Cold spaghetti sounds awful.
And we happen to have 2 of the most prominent Italian baseball players in the country, in the world, maybe even.
I don't hate the idea as far as the concept. Little Italy section, okay, that's fun. The only problem I see is the Ziploc bag. You know, the heat or the cold is either going to be...
Heat. It's going to be heat, based on some dates we were looking at.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot spaghetti.
Are we having meatballs in there or just spaghetti?
I was thinking maybe meatballs. Somebody suggested maybe some baguettes, but I think that might be taking it a step too far. Somebody says we could call ourselves the Spaghetti Monsters over on the text line. That was a suggestion yesterday. Somebody, Lance says he's in. There's multiple people from the 816. Saw you talking about it yesterday. Seems like the coolest stuff
now,
ever.
Are we getting a sponsor on this? Can we get a local Italian restaurant to provide us the pasta, please?
So that's the above board, below board part.
Oh, okay.
Our boss seems to think that we can't be in preparation of spaghetti. But what if just one local restaurant
What if everybody just brings their own spaghetti? Why are we providing spaghetti for everybody?
That's what I'm saying. We don't.
We
I
don't
think
need
it could be bring your own spaghetti.
Cody's Cipino incident from a couple years ago. You can't get everybody sick.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everyone's going to have to supply their own spaghetti. I think we get some T-shirts made that have spaghetti on them in some way or in some capacity of it. And then we work towards our goal of eating spaghetti out of the K because we can.
Now, can I bring
and matching T-shirts?
Can you bring a styrofoam bowl so I can?
It's got to be in a clear plastic bag like any other stadium policy. So like a clear plastic Ziploc bag full of spaghetti.
Because I'm thinking the cooler scenario is somehow we have the plastic bag of spaghetti, but then somebody gets bowl. Like even if you went to one of the concession stands and got a bowl, poured it in, and then you're eating the spaghetti out of a bowl. That looks way better on camera down the road.
But it might be funnier to eat it out of a Ziploc bag because it's a ludicrous food to eat out of a bag. Yeah. Can you imagine? Because, like, honestly, I think it's funny the more people we have. The idea of 100 of us sitting out between first base and right field, eating out of our Ziploc bag spaghetti with our, I don't know, Little Italy shirts that have a plate of spaghetti on them or whatever we need in order to do it. It's perfect. It's perfect.
And
Lots of people are in.
Because Vinny's on first and Kags is in right field. It fits.
That's why Little Italy plays.
I'll do it, but I think we need a restaurant. We need a restaurant to come up with the spaghetti for us.
Okay.
Which I'm sure we can come up with.
I mean, I don't think, spaghetti's not hard to make.
Two things could happen. The only problem with you talking about it so far in advance here is
Somebody
somebody else
steals it from
is going to steal it. B, the Royals can change their policy anytime they want.
So they're going to listen to this show and say we can't let these jerks bring 100 people to a game?
Oh, a sports team's never changed policies on something because people have talked about it before.
You don't want people at your game? This feels like a good thing. I'm suggesting we buy tickets together and put some T-shirts up that you can buy, and we all get our pasta together.
I'm in.
I think it's got to be.
We got to have someone's like, who's bringing the napkins? We can just get the napkins.
We get the napkins at the concession stand. Yeah. This is a policy that is allowed, which is still genuinely confusing me. I don't realize you can bring all kinds of food in. If it is just like food in a bag, essentially they'll let you take it just as long as it's unwrapped, so I don't have to discover what's inside of it. Did you realize you could bring all that in? I've seen people bring peanuts.
I've seen the peanuts. I didn't know people like. You're telling me I could bring a Ziploc bag with hot dogs in it?
It sounds like you're able to, if you went to Chick-fil-A Gold and got yourself a Chick-fil-A sandwich meal, you could bring that into the K.
I'm not even, if it's in the bag and they can see it, yes. What I'm only now learning is that, because I went through the policy pretty deep. I saw this, I saw somebody say it, I'm like, this can't possibly be right. I cannot possibly be allowed to bring in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of spaghetti into the stadium. Why would they let me do that? And then I went through the entire policy. It's fine. You can do it. People have done it. It is capable of doing it. I don't think anyone's ever done it in mass. I considered Italian Heritage Night, but it's too late in the season. It's like the final game of the year. Final Royals home game of the year. Too late.
Yeah, it's way too late.
We got to get to it sooner. I think it's going to have to be like a July baseball game, and I know July spaghetti outside.
What's this text?
It's probably not the best, but we'll see.
I don't know what to believe anymore. Second from the top.
Let's see. Somebody suggesting, the Lady and the Tramp?
Yes.
Suggestion? I don't remember any part of that. Although, if the shirt had, somebody suggested that the shirt could have Vinny and Kag's Lady and Tramp style spaghetti on the shirt.
I don't know if they'll like that.
Someone said the shirts should be pre-stained.
Which should have just like red spots on them. Uh-huh. Look, we can work through the design of it and the details. My question is, do you guys want to go to Kauffman Stadium with me and eat spaghetti? 913-586-7965.
We can do it. Someone says you can bring hot dogs. Their father-in-law brings hot dogs and buns wrapped in foil to the games. That's wild to me.
It's crazy to me. I've never even thought about it. I guess I should. Somebody says they bring Chipotle all the time to the game. I've never even considered it.
The spaghetti, the bag part of it. First person on the show to puncture their bag while they're trying to eat the spaghetti and just cause a huge
just
mess.
Like walking into this stadium, a whole line
Cody's
of
gonna
us
drop
with
his bag
spaghetti.
of spaghetti. Can you imagine the photo of everybody lined up holding a bag of spaghetti?
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, some of it is just like life sometimes should have whimsy. And the idea that I think it only works if there's like 100 of you who will do it. If 100 of you will go to the stadium with us, and then look, we got at least 3 here.
Yeah.
And more people on social media who I think would be interested, and all the texters who are texting in. So we can see.
People are offering to provide the spaghetti already.
We just need like just a...
I like it. Or someone says the simplest thing, truly, is just like, you got to bring your own. Just like, that way nobody's worrying about it.
Yeah, no questions. Like, maybe somebody will have some extra, but, bring your own spaghetti.
I think I almost want it to, you said you don't want it to be on a hot day. I kind of do. I don't want cold spaghetti, so.
I was looking at some dates. I think like July. So like, you're like 2 months. That gives us a lot of groundwork. We could get T-shirts. We can say what section we're going to be sitting in. We could put it all together. And then in July, we could be sitting out there eating hot spaghetti. Out in the stands. In Little Italy. Maybe a banner.
I like it.
Maybe a banner. That might be the only thing we need. I will say, everybody's in. So the text line, I haven't seen a single person who's like, that's insane. I will not come eat spaghetti at the K with you. Pretty much everybody is involved. We got people volunteering, like you said, outside of it. So we'll see. This will be fun. I think we can do this, and I think we should. Only because I learned you can bring spaghetti into a stadium, and the Royals have 2 very prominent Italian players. Makes perfect sense, if you ask me. Let's, I guess that wasn't trash of the day. You want to get to it anyway?
Trash of the day.
I only picked this trash of the day so I can play a piece of audio. That's it. Drew knows this. He was there.
I was.
I saw this from the Associated Press. I guess this is a thing that's getting popular again. Adults are going to band camp. Adults are going to band camp.
Have you guys ever been to band camp?
I have not.
No, never played an instrument.
Cody, if anybody on the show would be the one that would still go to band camp, that'd be Cody.
I would have been the most likely to have probably on this show, but I didn't pick up an instrument. I sang, as you know. I've got
and
all
one
my
time at band camp, we're gonna have such a good time. It'll be like this one time at band camp. I learned to do that at band camp.
Okay,
That's the reason why I picked this story.
And one time at band camp,
I don't really care about anything else with the story.
I mean,
the amount of stories that you can tell from that one time at band camp, you know?
I guess if you were a part of that camaraderie and you don't play in a band, should adults have camps? What camp? Did you go to any camp? I didn't go to any camps as a kid. They just
summer camp,
they just gave us
local.
a pool. No, Drew, we talked about this. Our childhoods were different.
Well, no,
Zero camps. I never went to a single camp in my entire life. They just gave me a bike and said, be free. It's summertime now. You went to a lot of camps?
I didn't go to a ton, but I definitely went to like basketball camps or football camps. We had,
I did.
When I was in like middle school or high school, there was like a sports broadcasting camp that they had. Yeah.
I didn't do any of that.
I didn't do anyone where you had to travel away and be gone for 3 weeks. I did a couple sports camps in the summertime, but that's it.
Should we do a sports broadcasting camp? The Cody and Gold sports broadcasting camp every summer? You and me?
That sounds like a nightmare.
I guess the big part of it is because I didn't experience that, it's not necessarily something that triggers for me and I wish I could go back and do it. I played sports, I can still play sports as an adult.
I don't think you missed anything
make them
necessarily.
for any age. If I'm 60, there's a baseball league for someone who's playing 60-year-old baseball. So those things are still available to me. But it's if you don't play in a band anymore, Drew, or don't pick up the instrument regularly,
it gives you a reaon to do it. Yeah,
it gives you a reason to do it. I don't have any problem with it. It does make for an all-time classic drop of our youth anyway, Gold. The reference to American Pie.
Oh, yeah.
and one time at band camp,
there would be a lot of stories, though. There's always something that comes from those sorts of things. Whether it's funny, dumb, scary.
That's the trash of the day. Text line continues to weigh in. Pretty much everybody's in. Over on YouTube, somebody says you're all going to do this and wind up getting spaghetti banned at the K. It'd be very funny to me if the only food they decided to ban as a part of this practice was spaghetti. I don't want them to ban food for everybody. I want you to still be able to bring the guy who said he brings in his wrapped hot dogs.
I will say, I think fans would not be happy if they banned all food from being brought in because of the spaghetti. That would be unfortunate because I think a lot of people would not be happy if this were to cause that.
They're not. There's no way.
I don't think they would.
We'd have to get 2,000 people for the stadium to be easy. You can't bring spaghetti in anymore. And even then, I think they'd limit it to just you can't bring in spaghetti after having to clean up everybody's mess. After that, the trash cans for one day at the stadium, if 2,000 people brought in spaghetti, would be a problem. We're not getting 2,000 people. I think you guys like listening to the show, and we appreciate every time we've asked you to do anything on this show. You guys support it. So I appreciate that. But I don't think 2,000 of us are showing up eating spaghetti at the K. I'm just looking for 100.
We'll see. Someone says, Cody, you've been talking about spaghetti for 2 days. Shut up.
This is the one person. This is the one person.
We found the one person.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Not happy.
I respect that.
This is in fairness to Cody, this is the first I've heard about it. So.
Yeah, I waited to tell him until he got back. Sometimes when he's gone, I try to get ourselves into stuff, and I try to make sure that Alex is okay with it after. Or I feel like it's harder for him to say no.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Gold. Somebody wants to know: is that Bandcamp a local thing? I know you said it was the AP. Somebody actually sounds interested.
That story came from New Hampshire.
Oh, it's a ways away.
There might be a local one though. Who knows? I'm not familiar. They said they would enjoy it. So get involved.
Coming up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk more about one position that a team in the division is bulking up. The Chiefs aren't, should they have? And the Chiefs business side wanted something, and they're not going to get it this year.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health. the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you're looking for a new career, Centric can offer that to you. That's because they want you to work with their career services team and their advisors over there. You might have heard some of the ads running the station talking about exactly what they can do. They teach technical skills, life skills. They help you get in the career, and they can do it as little as 4 months.
Yeah, as you said, real-world skills. So it's hands-on projects, simulations that are going to reflect your actual day-to-day work that you're going to do in the field of IT. You're not going to have just long lectures, maybe outdated materials, all of that. It's going to be focused on learning what you actually need to learn. And it's great that it only takes 4 months. It's allowing you to be flexible with your schedule. Maybe you've got a career right now, as you were saying, that you're just not happy with. You're burnt out, but you know you can't just stop working. You can do both. You can work with their flexible scheduling. That's where our friend Russ Mondry comes in.
Yeah, he can just reach out at Centric.com. He can get you involved in the program, and then later with their employer network and connecting students and organizations to help them hire those tech professionals that would be you at the end of that. That's Centric.com.
Hi, I'm Amanda, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of bridal design, I travel the world for inspiration so that your engagement ring stands out from the rest. My team of in-house designers and I work alongside skilled artisans to curate the most beautiful collection of exclusive engagement rings. At Shane Company, you'll find the ring that's a reflection of your unique style. No cookie-cutter designs here. See our selection in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together.
We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it is Chiefs Red Half Hour. Coming up 1 hour from now, we'll talk Royals baseball with Josh Vern, our Royals insider, get his reaction a little bit to what happened last night, if he feels the same way as we do, just about the blown opportunity, the way things were handled with Stephen Kolek, and ultimately what the Royals need to do the remainder of these couple games in Chicago, taking on the White Sox. But there is one team in the AFC West, that'd be the Chargers, who have bulked up a position that I actually thought they were in decent shape with a young tight end. Oronde Gadsden came on last year a little bit, but they go and add Mike McDaniel as their OC, and he, if you paid any attention to Miami, other than it wasn't just Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, he used a lot of 2 tight end sets quite a bit there, and we all know the Rams last year and the success they had, they were using 3 tight ends a lot of times. In fact, the Rams went and drafted another tight end this year. So all these other teams are going out and adding more depth to the tight end position. Now, you might just say, hey, but what do they have to show for it? And that's a fair point. The Rams had a great year, but they don't have anything to show for it yet.
No, but they were the second best team last year. It's not like they weren't good.
The Chargers, they're trying it out. We'll see if it pays off for them. The Chargers signed David Njoku to that receiver or to that tight end room. So they have another veteran in there, and Njoku, it's not a big deal, but it's a 1-year deal for him to go with the rest of the tight end room. Do you think this is going to happen more? And more importantly, did the Chiefs miss an opportunity to do this? Or is this, hey, we know we have one more year. This is what I think it is. One more year with Travis Kelce. We're going to operate our receiving room.
With a single tight end because we have somebody worth operating around.
Exactly. And he's one of the best still. And so we're going to still do that now when we have to pivot in the future. And maybe we do need 2 tight ends to make up or 3 to make up the production.
It's weird. I remember, I have like a specific memory of like, 2021 or 2022 training camp Gold, where you and I sat there and there was like 4 articles in a row written by, I think it might have been Herbie Teope at the time, but it was just like 12 personnel, 13 personnel. And there was like a whole off season about it. We're like, all right. I mean, and they ran it like 4 times. And it was like, I don't know. Why did we spend this amount of time talking about this specific thing if it's not something they're going to do? But it's also like the whole league is doing it. Like, and this is what happened with the running back. My fear is that if everyone is doing it, it's working, at least in the interim. So either I want you going to the next evolution of this, or I want you adopting what is the common mindset and policy in the NFL. And they seemingly have the guys to do it, right? Why couldn't Noah Gray and Travis Kelce operate? They probably need one more blocking tight end, but why couldn't the unit they have in place do it, knowing that they already have an extremely talented one? Shouldn't that make it easier? I don't know. In a weird way, it's like it feels like it should make it easier to do that. I'm not saying everyone in the league's doing it, but some of the best offenses are. And so it seems a little bit weird to me that they're not at least entertaining it.
Yeah, I hope they are not, once again, falling behind a little bit. It kind of is. It's the same as the running back stuff, where they were a few years behind the 8 ball on where the league was trending towards valuing running back again. And then here they are. They compensated maybe overly. We'll see. I think it was the right compensation for it, which is signing Kenneth Walker. So are they going to be behind this trend of tight ends being utilized in a different way? I don't know. I tend to think it is, you still have your same offensive coordinator or your same head coach, I should say, who's at the end of his career, and it goes back to the adaptation question, whether or not that's an area where he will fundamentally adapt. And then the other part is, and I truly think this is it, it's just that they have Travis Kelce. They're not going to go to a true multi-tight end on a regular basis type of formation on a regular basis. And they'll say it. We'll have to see in production. It was a very disappointing year for Noah Gray. If we were having this conversation 2 years ago, we would all said, oh, well, Noah Gray fits right into that. All good. He was just extremely disappointing last year.
He had less than 200 yards last year. And look, I understand that Patrick Mahomes was hurt for part of that. He played in 16 games. It's not like he was unavailable for all the games in the lead up to that. He went from slowly improving, 299 yards, 305, 437 and 5 touchdowns. They gave him the extension, and at 25 years old, Gold, it looked like, hey, you know what? Maybe they even have a league average tight end after Travis is gone. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe they get the right kind of guy. What the hell happened? No touchdowns and 178 yards, man, fell apart. But it's also like everyone else in the league is doing it. And some of this is like easy, right? I saw 1 year, $8 million for Njoku, and I said, yeah, I'd have done that. Or some of the other tight end deals this offseason, not the blocking ones, they come at a slightly bigger price. But you saw in the, going back to the draft, in the 3rd or 4th round, there was a massive run of blocking tight ends because everyone in the league wants to do the same thing. They want bigger sets, play action pass, under center run. They want to take advantage of the running. This all comes back to the same thing. Running's back in the NFL. It's going to stick around for a few years. And the Chiefs have been behind that trend already. They're now back closer to it with Kenneth Walker, but don't seem to be adjusting in the tight end scape unless, like you said, they just think Noah Gray will be better this year, which is possible. I don't want to rule that out. I just don't know what the hell happened. I'd love to go back. Maybe next time we have Nate Taylor in or something. What the hell happened to Noah Gray's year? It was such a lost year anyway. He just was.
Then he got hurt.
One of many failures.
Remember, he got concussion, didn't he? At one point.
That was a scary hit.
He still played in 16 games, though.
Did he really? He only missed one game.
Missed a single game, and then he was back. He played in 16 games. He had only 21 catches for 178 yards, no scores. He went from averaging 25 yards per game last year to 11. His second career low to his rookie season, in which he essentially just didn't catch a single pass.
I mean, they threw the ball 37 times. That was it. Targets.
I know. They didn't throw to him. They didn't use him. Either they weren't interested or he was too easy to guard. I don't know which version of it was, but they got to do something, and it always surprises me when they don't, I guess, adjust. I just want them to adjust again, I guess, and make sure that this time they're not behind and then trying to play catch up with the running back and instead just be on the task while everybody's on the task. That's all.
We mentioned earlier, we now know the full international slate for this upcoming season. The Chiefs do not have an international game, which I think fans are probably happy, but it was very clear. Mark Donovan on the business side of things was very open. Clark Hunt as well were very open to playing international games and wanted to be in particular the one they had a chance at, which was playing the Falcons in Madrid. That's going to be Cincinnati, as we all know at this point in time. Does that tell you anything? Like for this idea, when we talk, even with the new stadium, and when we mentioned the possibility of having a Super Bowl in Kansas City down the road, and everybody says, "Oh, it's a foregone conclusion." With Clark Hunt's poll, they'll get a Super Bowl. Now, these are two drastically different things. Okay, we're talking about an international game versus a Super Bowl, and the money that's invested in a stadium versus just one-off international game. But if I would have told you in the past that like Clark Hunt basically requested an international game, wouldn't you have thought that you would have got it?
Normally, yes. But they can't, it's like any other favor. They can't give you them all. Maybe they give him Christmas Day again. Like just because.
We know that was the other thing they wanted. Yeah, if they don't get Christmas Day as well, it's kind of like, okay, wait a
Then
second.
it's like, hey, I've been a team player this whole time. What the hell? Because they have been at the forefront, and we've said this before, the forefront of taking all the arrows. They were one of the earliest international games. Bink had pointed out yesterday. They were the first game on Netflix, Peacock, like almost every single Amazon. They've been pretty much the first game for every new streaming service. They were one of the first Nickelodeon games. All of them. They continuously are, sure, we'll take the publicity. You stick us in whatever time slot you feel fit, and we'll make the rest work. So normally when they're like, hi, we'd like to be in this. But also at the same time, Gold, they got to there's other teams vying for this. And you got to give some of those franchise and organizations some of those too. So maybe this is just the one they lost. I'm personally thrilled.
Yeah.
Thrilled. They're not playing an overseas game. 8 home games, 9 on the road, normal schedule. I hope they have less primetime games than they have in years. I hope it's like 4. I would like them to have a normal schedule where they can balance it a little bit.
The primetime stuff doesn't bug me. Now that I already know they're playing Monday Night Football, if anything, I would not have wanted it week 1.
Yeah, I don't want that, yeah.
Now that they already got the primetime game in week 1, I don't care. They're going to be on primetime 4 or 5 times, and I actually think you might be correct based off of where things are trending. I almost would be surprised if they're not on Christmas at this point. I don't want them playing on Christmas. We've had that conversation multiple times on this show and in where it's at. And more of a selfish reason, which is I would rather not be focused and stressed out watching the Chiefs play on Christmas or Thanksgiving. That's just where I'm on a personal reason. But I'm with you. I expect them to probably be on one of those either Thanksgiving Eve or Christmas Day.
I think they're going to be on Wednesday and Christmas Day. I think they're gonna hit you double again.
They might.
So if they miss the international game, but they get Thanksgiving Eve and Christmas Day, well then they got everything else they wanted. Like this part of it and the request for it, is it a bit surprising to me? Yes, but like you said, genuinely. How many years away are we until every single team plays one international game a year forever as a part of their 18-game schedule? Like 2 years.
Yeah.
As soon as the collective bargaining agreement comes into play, which is 2030 or something, but the NFL has openly said they want to negotiate the 18th game before that in the NFL. And Gold, it'll be 2 or 3 years. The players will cave. They'll give them the 18th game. And 3 years from now, everyone will play one international or 2. 1 home, 1 away. Double bye, both of them will be around the international games, or some will be and the other ones will be around that first week of the season. They'll send, this is the thing I'll start to hate. At some point, it'll end up being like 3 international games to start the season, not just 1. They'll have somebody playing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that week, all overseas.
They're going to push the limit.
Paris and Australia and Germany.
Yeah, we've discussed it. The NFL is going to push the envelope, and they're going to eventually hit a wall at some point and find out that it's whether it's too many games, too many international games, whatever it is, but they're going to test it. And we all know that reason why, they didn't get rid of Monday Night Football doubleheaders because they didn't think they were fun or entertaining. They got rid of them because they realized they could spin off 5 other games and sell them separately on Thanksgiving Eve and have 2 Black Friday games instead and make more money by selling them to more streaming partners. That's the reason why they didn't move it because they heard you or anybody else, complaining about the doubleheader games being too late on Monday night. They switched it because they're going to make more money selling off the extra couple games that they're going to do this year.
Of course they would.
That's it.
It was pointed out by Legend over on Twitch, which is the same thing we've talked about before, which is the league continues to monitor jet evolution. As in when the Jets they legitimately follow studies actively and have admitted it, that they're like, the second these planes get faster, our ass is going everywhere. If we can get a team there in 4 hours, then we're ramping this thing up. Because then you really can become an international sport, because it is tough to play in an international sport when your body has to recover from a train wreck. And you got to play in 6 days, and you only get so many days to practice, so many days to prepare, and so many days to heal. It's not It's not the same as sending someone international for a soccer match or baseball or a lot of other sports.
It's not, but you know what? It is kind of weird though. Baseball, we talk about 162 game inventory. They should be doing once a month these specialty games, whether they're playing at Field of Dreams or Bristol Speedway or wherever. Right? They played games in London, etc. The NFL, you're right about we all know why they want to play internationally, but it is unique for a sport that has less inventory than the NBA and baseball. The NFL plays more actual games internationally. Like baseball, they'll play a series in London, and that's it for the year. That's their international game. Maybe they'll play a series in Tokyo. Yeah. That's it for the year. The NBA will have a Paris series for 1 game, 2 games, and they're done. The NFL has 9 of them or whatever it is this year.
Yeah, they're better. Well, in fairness, they're the bigger league, and they want to grow. But you're right, baseball. But the problem is that baseball would need the faster jets. You got to go there for 3 days, and then you got to be back. You play the Twins on a Tuesday night. You play the White Sox on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Like, there isn't 6 days off. There isn't even travel time. Legitimately, you play someone the next day. The whole day would be in a plane if you tried to play a middle-of-the-year series in Tokyo, in Paris, in Germany. You would need better accommodations. Or we said before, more off days and less games.
Yeah, just cut the season down to 110 games.
And then go international and make up the money difference. But they're not going to do that because at this point, nobody's giving up inventory. And look, like this happening today, college football playoff. There's this whole big conversation around the college football playoff today. The ESPN, the TV rights holder for the college football playoff is like, 12's good. We want 12. 12's fine. No more than 16. Please, no more than 16. That's a good number for us. We like that number. We'd like to keep it there. Please don't do that. Big 12 and ACC today said, no, we're going with 24. We'll see at 24.
That's what's
SEC and Big 10, even though the TV partners
Big 10
aren't
wants it
asking
too, actually.
for it.
The Big 10 was the first one.
Yeah, and so like the other two of the other conferences that matter signed up and said 24 is fine with us actively, while their TV partners are saying no, thank you. We do not want that many games. Now they'll pay for it. It's not going to stop them from doing it. And I don't know if there is a bubble, but football's growth has been so exponential. Nobody's taking. It's never less games. I've never seen anybody take games away. No. They only ever add rounds, add games, add teams to the playoffs.
The ESPN part is somewhat surprising only because basically by expanding the playoff from their perspective, yes, the cost is going to maybe go up from a rights standpoint. That's why these conferences are also interested, But the bowl games on December 22nd, I mean, nobody's watching those.
Yeah, but the college football playoff game, someone would.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if they're going to have less bowl games if you expand the playoff.
Maybe they don't like how much it would cost. What the increased price and the cost per game and their bottom line or something. But it's also like,
well, what kind of advertising revenue are they getting off of the Bahamas Bowl on December 22nd versus a first round game in a 24-team playoff?
I would think nothing, but they don't want it, so there's got to be a reason for it. I think eventually go the other way. If you got 24 teams in a playoff, eventually go the way of the NFL. It won't be one broadcast partner gold. ESPN will get the Final Four.
They already did that with the playoff this year.
Yeah, Turner already had a couple games.
Yeah, TNT had a few games.
They sublease some of these damn things. It'll just be worse than that, Drew. Netflix will have a couple. Peacock will have a few. If they're interested or in the NFL market for the NFL games, they'll be interested in college football playoff games. I'm not sure why it is they want less, but they have openly and publicly said they want less.
It's because ESPN wants control of it, though. Like right now, ESPN controls it, and there's no...
And the more teams, the less they can control.
There's no distributed rights in college football like there is in the NFL, where everybody gets a piece of the pie and stuff like that. Like, it's not the conference. Like even the Big 12 has to scramble and try to find any way possible to get on national television.
Yeah, they're playing these Friday night games.
Yeah. I just think it's a lot of times it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. But this is why, like, for the Chiefs, yeah, they missed on the international game. They love going to international because there's going to be a million of them. But I'll be paying more or closer attention, I guess, to what happens on the other end of this, where do they get the Christmas Eve, Black Friday, Christmas Day? Do they get all the other games?
One of them at least, I would guess.
Yeah, I'd be kind of shocked if they didn't. And they're also tend to be they were the 3 of the 8 biggest games or something in TV draw, or 5 of the biggest 8.
I think they're getting the Christmas Day game annually. I think the Clark
feels like
I think Clark Hunt is like, we are going to be the Cowboys on Christmas. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think Christmas Day is very possible again, and it may be likely at this point. The other thing that I thought the Week 1 Monday Night Football game told us is if there was any doubt about what the TV partners feel the interest in watching the Chiefs is going to be even after a 6-win season, that answered it right away. It's the first game of the year. They're not messing around. I guess the argument against that would only be that, well, they're not saving them this year. In the past, they would have waited because they know they'd be a playoff team, and so they'd rather have the intrigue early. That would be the only argument of the opposite, which is that the networks
might not be interesting later.
That maybe they're not going to be good again.
That's
so
not it. Not for the Chiefs.
I know, but that would be the only argument. I think more likely it's that, no, the TV partners value them just as much today as they did a year ago.
Agreed. I think that's far more likely the scenario. You almost missed. Apparently, the Chiefs were interested in Juwan Jennings while you're gone. We talked a little bit about it. Yeah. My bigger takeaway was, who the hell's contract were they restructuring to make that work?
Yeah, the money.
My stance is more that.
Juwan Jennings got more money than I think the Chiefs were willing to spend.
He got $13 million, though.
Yeah, but I think the Chiefs, yes, you can always restructure, but with their plan and how they went about the draft and how they've gone about this entire offseason, I think they're trying to still kind of correct their cap situation so that in 27 and beyond, I think they will be, look for them to be a much bigger free agency spender in the next 2 years than they were this year. And I know they went out and spent big money for a running back.
For a single player.
For $45 million is not spending big money. Now, for a running back across, what is it, 3 or 4 year deal, whatever, it is big money. But that in general is not the 80 handing out $90 million worth of contracts or whatever. No. In fact, they did the opposite. They traded away Trent McDuffie to avoid paying a $120 million contract or whatever it is. So, yeah, Juwan Jennings, I was interested. The longer he was out there, I thought the price would have gone down even more, quite honestly. But $13 million
pretty cheap.
For the Vikings, it's great. They're in a spot where it's a huge year for Kevin O'Connell. You bring in Kyler Murray after the mess of J.J. McCarthy.
Justin Jefferson, Addison, Juwan Jennings,
and
new
you move
quarterback.
From there.
I do love, sometimes the offseason lies always do get me, though, because I saw that it's going to be a true quarterback competition between J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray. Like
McCarthy's done.
Honestly, the thing is, it doesn't hurt you to lie, because if they genuinely gave them 50% of the snaps all the way through training camp, it would be the most lopsided defeat in the history of football. One of those quarterbacks is an actual NFL starting quarterback who has started a number of games. One of them stinks. And I'm not saying Kyler Murray's great, but one of them is a qualified NFL player, and the other guy is awful. So it wouldn't be much of a competition, even if it was an open competition. But also, same head coach. So, that guy watched J.J. McCarthy play and said, please get me another quarterback, please, because that guy stinks. If it were a new coach, maybe you could believe it. Maybe you'd believe their lie, but it's not the case. I was just more like, if they're going to sign somebody like Juwan Jennings, or they were going to pay like Cam Jordan, there is still money they have to move around. And you and I are both in the same camp of making sure it's not Chris Jones. Find somebody else's contract to mess with. Leave Chris Jones where it is.
They can mess with Creed Humphreys and be fun.
You've drafted 1 billion defensive linemen. Let's see if any of them got some juice before you start locking yourself into Chris Jones for years and years and years. I still think he's got some good years left, but I don't want to extend the contract out to where you're staring down the barrel of a $50 million cap hit for Chris Jones with nothing to do with it, nowhere to move it, and nowhere to go. That was my bigger fear with Jennings, is they were going to have to move a lot of money.
I also just think this continues to fuel the flames of, they're just waiting for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I mean, if he's just available for free.
He's going to get, if Jennings got 1 for 13, Tyreek Hill's going to get, before incentives, 1 for 6?
Yeah, probably.
Plus incentives that could get it to 13?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe I'm way off. Maybe it's 1 for 10, and it's incentives that bump it above that.
It's like
the guy's coming off a devastating knee injury.
Yeah, and he doesn't. And
he's desperate to come back, so you get some leverage on that.
Well, yeah, because his price here is different probably than his price somewhere else. But he posts every week. He posts some Instagram story of him still in a Chiefs uniform every week. And I understand he's only played for 2 teams, so if he's posting photos of himself playing, he's only got 2 options, other than high school or college. But still, man wants to come back. I think it made it pretty clear at some point down the road that was the case.
That is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Up next, we'll get to what's trending, talk more about Kenneth Walker and where the running game is and where, if it doesn't pan out, the blame likely goes. And we'll talk a little bit more about being back, including other ideas maybe Cody has for me that I missed out on the last couple days.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
In full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather that you know is on the way. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. That's 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit climatecontrolkc.com today. Climate Control, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Have you ever seen a drive-thru as less of a lunch option and more as a challenge? We can help. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number 1 on What's Trending, the Royals back at it tonight after dropping game 1 of their series in Chicago against the White Sox. 6:40 first pitch here on 96.5 The Fan. Vern's On Deck show at 5:30. Vern's going to join us here in about a half hour. Tonight it is Seth Lugo on the mound. The Royals 4 under 500, trying to get win number 20 of the season. Again, just continue to hang around this division. Nobody's running away with it, but you don't want to drop a couple to the White Sox to start this series. This is not the same White Sox team from 2024 where you're owning them for 12 games.
No, it's certainly not. And the division has been mediocre at best, probably. But there's at least a team above 500 at the moment, and you still got 4 teams to jump in order to be in the lead of the division. So it's something you got to at least keep a close eye on, but still see if they can get game 2 of the series tonight, like you said. Lugo on the mound. Next up on What's Trending, the full international slate is out for the NFL. Week 1, Rams 49ers in Australia, obviously part of the highlights. The final one will be the 49ers again. They'll take on the Vikings in Mexico City, at least on that one. There's a huge set of London games, weeks 4, 5, and 6. And then, of course, they'll head to France, Spain, Germany, and Brazil. Check out any of the NFL sites for the full list of games. But, yeah, the Jaguars have 2, the 49ers have 2, and then there's 3 games in a row in London, and then the other countries sprinkled in.
NBA and NHL postseason continuing. Tonight, we get a Game 5 with the series tied 2 games apiece. Been a great series. Cavs, Pistons. The Cavs were down early. They've evened it back up. This one, though, returns to Detroit. Donovan Mitchell playing really well. Last night, we saw the Spurs take care of the Timberwolves 126-97. That one is now in favor of San Antonio, 3-2. Over on the NHL side of things, yesterday we had a couple games going on. The Golden Knights picked up a win in overtime, 3-2 over the Ducks. They now lead 3-2 in the series. The Buffalo Sabres have evened that series up against the Montreal Canadiens at 2 games apiece. Tonight we do have one game in the NHL. It is Game 5. Colorado could wrap up the series tonight at home against the Minnesota Wild.
Next up on What's Trending, a little update on Ahmad Hardy, who obviously was unfortunately and sadly shot on Saturday or Sunday morning, I guess what they called it, Saturday night, in Laurel. Eli Drinkwood says there's a chance Hardy could still be back this year, but they won't know for at least a few more weeks. There's more details, obviously, on the injury itself, and he was shot in the leg. They're saying there's a chance he could still play this year. There's a chance he might not be able to play this year. What it is a waiting game on Ahmad Hardy as they wait for the next couple of weeks to see how things heal and look. And then they'll probably make a determination, not a determination, but see how things are as he hopefully is back for the season starting in August. A really crazy story on Monday.
Yeah. No, I saw that come across, and sounds like he's very, very fortunate, all things considered, with everything and where this thing could have treaded, non-football-wise. I mean, of course, you're talking about his own life and everything like that. One last thing, this is not going to happen until a little bit later on this week, but tomorrow, you guys probably keep an eye out. Drew's locked in. PGA Championship going on this week, and this will be an opportunity for Rory to come off a second straight Masters win. He's 9-1. Scotty Scheffler, of course, has the favorite there at plus 385 to win it. I saw this, and I didn't know, is this a normal thing? We know the Masters does the cheap concession pricing. The PGA Championship, with your ticket, you get food and non-alcoholic drinks. I saw that today.
Oh,
Someone's doing a whole tour.
Isn't Drew's brother gone?
My brother will be there for 3 of the 4 days.
Nice.
He's
Where's
there
it
for
at?
the practice run today. It's up in Philly.
Oh, Philly.
I forget the name of the course already, but it's in Philly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you guys see Rory's got a blister on his pinky toe, and he's thinking of wearing a size bigger shoe? I don't know how much that affects him, but
I do love that, like, because this happens in
the
pictures
practice run,
too.
he had to take his shoe off. It hurt so bad.
Like, we got, like, in the NFL, some guy would be like, oh, my rib broke and it's stabbing into my heart, but they just put, like, a flak jacket on it and I'm fine. And then in golf and baseball, pitchers and stuff, it's like, he has a blister on his toe, and this might be a real problem. That man has a blister. He could be screwed.
I mean, for the amount of friction, the way you put
think
on your
about,
feet,
I know, it's just
100%.
but you do understand how, like, I'm not like it just sounds funny.
Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah, the blister
Happens
on
with
the
pitchers all the
blister
time,
on the finger thing. Yeah, I hear you.
I know how it impacts him. It just sounds like done. He might wear a bigger shoe. Okay, wear a bigger shoe. He's obviously the best golfer on the planet at the moment, I guess. Well, no, Scheffler's still that, but he's the second best?
Yes.
Yeah, just can Scotty get off to a better start than what he's done this entire year?
He has the quietest. It's like Tiger. I don't think you realize how many times he finished second. Scotty sometimes would finish second. He didn't even play good golf. He just played like bad golf for 2 days and then play good golf for 2 days.
Yeah, Scheffler the favorite, then Rory. Cam Young, 12-1. Rahm, 15-1. Those are your 4 best odds, 5 best odds getters so far heading in.
Can't bet Cam Young again. I bet him to win the last time.
Let me down. Ricky Fowler is a good flyer to take.
You like that?
It's like
okay.
It's like 65-1 or something like that. He's been
65
He's been playing really good golf the last couple weeks.
He's not the kind of guy that people used to talk about. Like one day he'll get his major when he was like 23.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't get discussed like that anymore.
No,
honestly, he's also probably like mid-30s.
Him and Justin Thomas. Although Justin Thomas has the major, Ricky does not. But Justin Thomas kind of a similar way. People just kind of forget about him.
37.
Oh, is he only 30? That means he must have been bet up.
37.
No, 37 years old. Sorry, Drew.
Oh, I thought you said 37.
Sorry, 37 years old. Yeah.
But yeah, Ricky's. I remember he had the mullet. I think he went away from the mullet a while ago. But he used to have the mullet.
He got married and everything changed for him.
The all orange Sunday outfit.
Yeah. The creamsicle or whatever he used to rock.
Uh-huh.
There was a time in which he was talking about like maybe a great up-and-coming young golfer.
100%.
Guy's been around for 15 years and he doesn't really have much to show for it. Other than he's still got a tour card and makes a lot of money.
Won the Players' Championship. That's his best tournament. That's his best win.
He did win the Players. So that's at least a part of it. We were talking about Chiefs. We'll get back to Royals here at 12:30. Josh Vernier will join the show. Coming up at 12:30, we'll talk about where they are as they lost Game 1 against the White Sox just last night. But let's talk, before we talk Chiefs, people are asking, how are you feeling? You're back.
I am back.
People noticed you're back. They said they thought you'd maybe be slightly worse off. Monday, you told us you still had gauze under your nose.
Yeah.
From, I don't know, bloody drainage or whatever.
Yeah.
Coming out of your face. Do you feel better yet?
Yeah, all things considered, I feel pretty good. Like, I was prepared for the worst. Some of the listeners texted in and tweeted saying it was their worst thing they ever had. And again, sinus surgery and deviated septum surgery. And it's not been comfortable, but it's also not been the worst thing I've ever experienced or whatever. You know, it's one of those, like, I only did it because I'm trying to get my smell back. If it was just some minor sinus infections or something, that's one thing. But it turned out it wasn't just a smell thing. I had some like nasal polyp stuff up there that they cleared out. And I won't know for a couple weeks, I think, although I'll find out from the doctor today about the smell part. Like, I'm not, someone was asking, can you smell right now? No, that doesn't mean it didn't work. It's just,
got plastic stick stuck up
plastic stents still up my nose, which is just, they're way bigger than I thought, which is crazy. I didn't realize, I watched the video. I'm like, that's inside my nose right now. So those are getting pulled out after the show today, which I've been told once you get past that, then, you know, that's like the worst part. Although
Smooth
it feels,
sailing.
I guess it feels amazing once they're like right when they're out.
Well, imagine, have you ever had anything like, it's like having your ear clogged or anything else.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is like.
It's nasty though. I'm doing these nasal rinses and it's just like, and
lunchtime.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody,
well, I'm not gonna,
nasal rinses.
I'm not going to get into the details on that. But someone was like, just wait like a month and a half from now. Randomly, you're going to sneeze one day and be like, oh my gosh, it's the most disgusting thing ever. But so look, you know, the photo that I tweeted, I told you, you guys should have texted me and said, Gold,
you looked high as hell.
I had taken medicine before the surgery. They gave me a cup of medicine, but
I like that you were like Patrick Mahomes in the hospital. I can't wait to give it. Oh, athletes are genuinely the only people I ever see post like hospital bed selfies. So like athletes all the time. They got the knee brace on, or they just came out of the surgery.
Maybe that's why I did it. I don't know.
See on the other side. You follow too many athletes on Instagram.
That might be honestly what it is.
And you're
Cody.
like, I see people post hospital bed selfies all the time.
Yeah.
This must be. I saw and I was like,
I'm not going to tweet this photo out. So there's one photo on the car ride home I didn't even know I took. So
you took it?
Yeah. So let me.
How bad was it?
Let me find the photo.
Remember, we're in 4K.
I know. Well, I'm not tweeting this out.
YouTube, Twitter,
Cody.
Twitch, and Facebook.
So this was on Oxy on the ride home. I mean,
you look high as hell.
Yeah, Drew. I don't know if Drew can see.
So it was on the video stream. If you want to see it on there.
That was. That was when I had to have this like like this padding around my nose.
You didn't try to fight any nurses like I did or whatever?
No, if anything, I was told from my mom who had to pick me up. Obviously, somebody has to drive you home, and I
didn't know
the nurse. I was told after the fact they're like, you were like I apparently was like thanking everybody and like I apparently like, oh, thank you so much. I was very thankful. Apparently I was very, but I've known this before. I've been told like even when if I get like drunk or whatever, I'm some people get like angry drunk.
Oh yeah, I'm not an angry drunk. Wow.
I'm more of like very like everybody's great and it's more of that kind of thing. And I guess that's what was happening.
Interesting.
But yeah, I actually feel good. I sound better than I thought I would sound. I thought I was going to sound like I still am.
You sound congested.
I'm nasally. Well, yeah, and I am. Yeah. So we'll see, man. I think it was worth it now that the worst is about to be behind me, and then I'll let you know if I can smell. That way I can eat spaghetti at the K and taste it.
We'll get an update post stint tomorrow and see whether or not we want you tasting spaghetti by the time.
I'll make sure I'll have them videotape it, Cody, and I'll just send it to you. You know, I'll have them film the stints being taken out, or you can go on TikTok and see how disgusting it is.
By the way, I'm immediately going to start working on the spaghetti thing, so expect an update inside of a week or something else. Okay. Of that. But let's talk a little Chiefs football and what has been. Like, it's so hard because you got to, I look at the last 2 years, and 2 years ago they went to the Super Bowl in the middle of going to 3 in a row. So it's not like I thought that whole season fell apart. But there were early cracks and signs and issues with the roster and the management of it at times that I probably should have been paying a better attention to, but they were doing such a good job masking it 2 years ago on their way to a Super Bowl. And then last year, all exposed, all out in the open, and we could see what the problems were. And one of the things that I think is easily the biggest issue is they seem to either not identify talent and not be able to use them, or what you and I is happening sometimes, which is they're being given talent they don't want to use or doesn't quite fit the scheme, And the coaching staff, especially in the wide receivers or some of these others, are having a hard time making it fit. Ken Walker is the ultimate test. Ken Walker works. He has been a good running back. When he plays all 17 games, he gets 1,000 yards. He runs for 4 to 4.5 yards a carry. He gets 250 to 300 yards receiving. He is consistent. You know what he's good at. You've seen what he's good at. His body's not beat up, so you think it's just, oh, he got old and can't run anymore. If healthy, Ken Walker needs to work at least as well as he's been working in Seattle, and if not, I'm blaming the coaching staff. Not Brett Veach for signing him, not Ken Walker himself for performing poorly, but because I'll assume it's because the Chiefs coaching staff doesn't put him in a place to succeed. And I fear it sometimes because they took an under-center running back and they run a shotgun run style. It'll be scheme fit for me, and I feel like this is a good test to say you can adjust around the player. We pay him a lot of money. Adjust around Kenneth Walker. He's the only other guy besides Patrick Mahomes on the offense you need to adjust around.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think we know I will say, though, I think everybody's on the same page, where in the past with maybe some draft picks, you could argue maybe the coaching staff wanted a certain player, the front office wanted a different player, whatever it may be, and so that was the issue with playing time. I think it was very clear from the front office down to the coaching staff, they all recognize they have to get better in the run game. And to me, they did the most effective thing to do that. They signed the best available running back. And that was Kenneth Walker, once Breece Hall was not on the market. And so Kenneth Walker was their best path. They signed him. And I expect the coaching staff to be fully on board. They brought in a new OC, an old one, but a new one, right, in Eric Bieniemy. And he's got all this track record with running backs. Running back himself, probably the best thing he does is develop running backs, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, you got a great running back group.
And then DeMarco Murray, who I understand doesn't have NFL coaching experience, but he was in college. But strong running back background, of course, with what he was able to do.
Yeah.
So I think they have, the whole organization, I guess, there's no disconnect on the running back position. They are all, not third year too late, but they are all on the same page. And I'm with you that
like they're in the same boat now.
Yeah, if Ken Walker doesn't have the season everybody's kind of expecting him to have.
And they're all RPOs or shotgun runs.
Then, yeah, that'll be on Andy Heck. It'll be on Eric Bieniemy. That'll be on Andy Reid. And it'll have the questions about the adapting, and that's all going to come up again. I think, we should not expect Kenneth Walker to go get, 25 carries every week or anything crazy like that. But you got to put him in the best position to succeed. And he's been open publicly saying he's willing to run, whether it's under center or RPO, but he admitted that he's more comfortable when they're under center. So, okay, if it's not working, let's say early on in the year, they say, no, we're going to run it our way. He'll adapt.
He can run this way too.
If it doesn't work, you got to be then willing to go back and alter your offense again. Yes, the player has to adapt to scheme. You also have to adapt to the player.
I guess part of this, though, and what's really interesting is the issue sometimes is not they won't adapt to a player's on the field. It's that they won't put him on the field. And in Ken Walker's case, he's got to be on the field. It's not like a question of, will he be available? It's will they run an offense that makes him the most successful? They're going to have to put him on the field. The guys who typically I'm like, hey, they signed, hey, you guys brought in a corner. Do you want to play him? And you're like, no, I know we gave Christian Fulton money. No, thanks. He's not exactly the right scheme fit, so we're not going to play him all the time. Or like, hey, I know you guys brought in Elijah Mitchell. What happened? Now, Elijah Mitchell's older. Maybe he was just washed. But because that's always the tough medium. Essentially what we're talking about is a little bit of guessing if they're not using those players. But the times when it becomes obvious with the Chiefs is when I watch them play and I'm like, hey, they have juice. That player has juice. I can see it. I can watch it, and they're successful, and they have plays, and they show some ability. Why aren't they playing more? Noel Williams, why isn't Brashard Smith at times last year, especially when they were struggling in the run game? Why aren't you using them more? And what we hear from people like Nate Taylor and those who are around the team a lot are, they make mistakes, or they're not a perfect scheme fit. I'm like, well, then why did Brett Veach bring them in? Like, it's happened a lot on the defensive line, or it's happened a lot in the cornerback rooms, and sometimes at wide receiver, or sometimes at running back. It depends. But Ken Walker, you spent so much money, you better be damn sure you're running some part of your scheme that works for him. He's the third most in the ranking of importance of players on your offense. Patrick Mahomes is 1.
Yep.
Wow, we figured it out. Is Rice 2?
Yes, I think so.
I would say so too, but I'm at just making sure we agree unilaterally.
Yeah.
3 is Kenneth Walker, and so I guess that's the part that I don't know if everybody else has him that I would. because the running game has been non-existent for a couple of years now, and I think it's making their life hard.
There's an argument that you wouldn't move him. There's an argument, if anything, that Kenneth Walker would become second, actually most important, only because he's been, they're hoping that he is the difference. And that
coming off the injury.
And you're going to need to protect Patrick Mahomes early on. I still think Rice gives you still the bigger potential overall on having, the all-pro type of season. Kenneth Walker, though, is maybe the missing link, though, to opening things up with the entire offense. You could argue he would be the second most important.
I think it's Rice, and then Walker, and then Kelsey, and then Worthy. Now Worthy matters, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but they've run a successful offense without the kind of player Worthy is, at least at this stage. So it's all a little bit different based off of that. But again, it continues to just ride this line of where are they heading with the coaching staff. But we know the same thing, Gold. This is a massive year for all of them, just to prove that you can adjust, that you can still build a roster. Next year might be even more important, because we're not going to sit around and wait for you to become a Super Bowl contender again. Not with Patrick Mahomes. We anticipate you needing to be a Super Bowl contender right away, immediately. As fast as you can would be great, actually, as a matter of fact. So that part of it really kind of still intrigues. But Kenneth Walker, he's just important. He's just an important player, and you got to, treat him like he's a guy you need to not build an offense around, but, use as a major part of your offense, I guess. That's always this thing I guess we won't know until September 14th.
We may not know for a month or a month into the season, because what their offensive plan in the first month might be different because they are protecting Mahomes, which goes back to why unfortunately they're playing the Broncos week 1. That's not the opponent you want to play week 1 with your quarterback coming off an ACL, LCL injury. I mean, that's also why, the whole would you rather game be at home or on the road. The reason why I said I would actually rather that Monday night game be on the road, I think there's a great chance the Chiefs are just at a disadvantage heading into week 1 because of the Mahomes injury. And so if you think they're going to lose, I know everybody wants them to win, but if you think they're going to lose, well, you might as well lose on the road game than lose at the home game, knowing then you still have to go back to Denver later on the year. So that's my only concern with that.
It's such a weird risk that ESPN took. Can we admit, they took a huge swing? Is it just because they think they can get TV ratings out of it until September? Gold, I know it's May 13th and you're up to 80%. Mac had added us on Twitter earlier today, I think, and said, what did Max say? I want to look up the exact thing. Mahomes is 100% playing week 1. Stop it, Alex and Cody, because you said you're at 90%. I said I'm at 60 or 70. There is still a medical science part of this. Can we say 100%? I'm not comfortable saying 100%. Not under any circumstance. But to your point, Gold, if your argument is, well, I feel better about his possibility to play week 1 if ESPN thinks he's playing week 1, and this is a multi-billion-dollar operation in an effort to get maximum amount of eyeballs on their product, it's kind of hard to not think it means they think Patrick Mahomes is coming back week 1. And look, I think it's above 50%. I think it's better than not. One setback, 1 week that goes slower than it's gone to this point, and he's unavailable. So, I'll never say 100%. They're still taking a chance. I don't think it'll be Stidham. Bo Nix will probably come back sooner. But we talk about the whole division. Just the whole division, we have underestimated the amount of turnover. The Raiders are obvious, right? Brand new starting coach, brand new starting quarterback. That's the obvious of changes. The Chiefs, new but old offensive coordinator, new scheme, not new scheme, but some differences and change. They're coming off a 6-win season. Mahomes coming off a major injury. Bo Nix coming off of a major injury. They're also changing some parts of the way they structured their offense. They got a new offensive coordinator who's calling plays. And then the Chargers, new offensive coordinator, new system, and new defensive coordinator. So, I don't want to make it seem like the AFC West isn't going through some stuff. They are certainly changing some stuff. I just feel like ESPN's taking a chance in all of that. The AFC West is, I think it's going to be interesting to say the least, I guess, this year.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. I don't think anybody's getting to 14, though, like last year when Denver got to 14 wins. I think this is more 13 probably wins you the division this year. 12 makes it really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody says, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, can Mahomes win Comeback Player of the Year and MVP?
He can.
Yeah. Honestly, if he wins MVP, he'll win Comeback Player of the Year.
It's the best odds to be Comeback Player of the Year. Don't get me started on that award. It's an absolute joke. Joe Flacco won it a couple years ago. It makes no sense.
He played 6 games or something, didn't he?
So by all means, I want to get in front of it now before the national media start whining in November that Mahomes is on track to win the Comeback Player of the Year. I don't want to hear it. That'll be what causes them to redo the Comeback Player of the Year award. Maybe will be Mahomes winning, because people are going to complain like he only missed 3 games or whatever it was last year. Yeah, but the award sucks. We know that. So this should not be a Mahomes problem.
I think
he
either
should
come back
be
from
the
missing
favorite.
at least half the season or like being bad.
Yeah. Well, they just need to do what the NBA does for this. It's the
Most
one thing that
improved?
I like about the NBA on the award system, at least. I think they are a disaster when it comes to their game limits and stuff. But when it comes to the most improved versus comeback, Mahomes should not be eligible for most improved. But the comeback of the year award has become a combination of injury and improved. So, for example, Mahomes, if the NFL just had comeback player of the year, sure, that's fine. And most improved player, well, that last year that would have been Sam Darnold.
Well, 2 years ago, it would have been Darnold, right? Whenever he had that big year for
Minnesota, fine.
Yeah.
2 years ago would have been Sam Darnold or whatever. We all know a difference between improved player and some guy that got hurt for half the season and it was good. So
We got somebody texting in from Denver saying, unfortunately, on our sister station over there, I believe they're out here making jokes
about
Patrick Mahomes, and someone said that on the air that somebody said, "quote awesome when Nick Benito smashes Mahomes' knee."
Okay, let's not root for injury now, because by that same argument, I can say when Chris Jones
Is
lands
that
on your
where we're
boy's
at?
ankle.
All of a sudden, it sounds like we have beef with we have beef.
I think,
and we have people on from that
so
station.
We do.
As somebody who's lived in this town a long time, and it exists in colleges, usually more than in the NFL, but it certainly exists in the NFL. I think what Denver fans are going through today, as it relates to having to go to Arrowhead in week 1 and all this other stuff, and people hate when they have to admit this. This is the worst case. They got a real bad case. They caught a bad one. Little brother. They are acting like, oh, I'll beat you on. They make one shot in your game of 10 to 1, like your game of 1-on-1 to 10, Drew, and they get their chest all puffed up, and they're like, oh, I'm finally taking you down, because they made one single playoff win and won the division for the first time in 7 years, and Patrick Mahomes is 13-2 against them in his career. And they are ready to declare it Bo Nix's division, and that they're not in the same class, and that they deserved and earned the right to host game 1 of the season because they accomplished a goal that 6 teams accomplish every year in winning the division. They feel like they're just like owed it. They got a real bad case. Gold, you've seen it before. It happens in sports. They are playing little brother syndrome.
Of course.
In Denver.
Yeah, we see it locally with some of the college rivalries all the time. All the time.
It just doesn't matter. Like for me, what I have had Denver hosting, yes, they won the division last year. It'd be simple as that. But it doesn't matter because they play each other twice. If it was, like you mentioned it earlier, Gold, it doesn't. The fact that they're in division, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but also but you said because they won the division, so they should. But that's never been a thing. So it's just that's.
If it were up to me, I would have done it that way.
That's not a precedent that was ever set.
I understand that, but I'm just saying if it were up to me, I would have done it because of that reason. I'm not saying it should be that way. I'm not saying it is that way, but it doesn't matter. Like getting mad because you're not hosting a game.
I gotta say,
you're going to host one. You already know this. Against the Chiefs at some point, whether it's week 1, 2, or
I mean, look, I'd be upset if I was
18.
Denver as well. There's a real chance they missed their best opportunity of the decade to get to a Super Bowl, and unfortunately their quarterback got hurt.
Because their quarterback got
hurt.
hurt.
Their quarterback got hurt. That's why they're bitter and they're upset, because I don't know if they're getting back to an AFC title game with Bo Nix anytime soon.
Probably not. Yeah. And it would maybe still be this year, but that said, I'm fascinated now. Here are the division winners. We got to pay attention on Friday and see if any of them have to play on the road. Oh, God forbid. Patriots, Steelers, Jags, Broncos, Eagles, Bears, Panthers, and Seahawks. Seahawks, by the way, are playing at home, but they're the Super Bowl winner. And that standard only got set like a decade ago. That was a new thing. You guys remember that, right? You guys remember when there was a switchover. That didn't used to be the opening night NFL football game. It didn't used to be the Super Bowl winner. If you had told me, even if it was the AFC winner, like if you won the Lamar Hunt Trophy, you get to play your first game at home because you get to hold at least we were the AFC champions. They didn't even do that. So you don't get guaranteed some home game just because you feel like you're getting burned.
I do think that there are levels to it, though. I think you're right about the little brother thing. Like
it's a little brother. Like, I can hear it.
When it. I don't think as fans, I don't think you should care either because like the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl or whatever and they lost. I don't know if they hosted the next year. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. If you're getting mad because you're not hosting a game in week 1, it's embarrassing. I don't. It doesn't matter that much. Like I don't. Are the Patriots hosting?
We don't know yet. I don't think. Right.
Yeah,
I don't think we know
guess
their
we don't
opening
know
game yet. Yeah.
But if they don't host in week 1, they shouldn't be mad about it. Like you guys said before, the Chiefs have made Super
They should
Bowls
host
and
it
won
at
them,
a
and they're
neutral
not
site somewhere, at a resort away from Foxborough or something. That'd be pretty fun.
That would be insanity.
The Chiefs won the division last year, and they
The
were
first
playing
NFL game in the Bahamas. Hey,
the Chiefs won the division last year, or 2 years ago, and they played in, and they had been to 3 straight Super Bowls. And where did they open up their season? Was it at Arrowhead Gold? When they'd gone to 3 straight Super Bowls and won 2, did they host the game? No, they went. They took a road game to Brazil.
It's a road game for both people, but yes, I see what you're saying. Yes,
but
I see what you're saying.
We're at home at Arrowhead.
It's not that big of a deal.
All right, coming up next, let's get back into the Royals. They continue their series tonight against the White Sox. Let's talk about Stephen Kolek. Let's talk a little bit more about how things transpired last night with our Royals insider, Josh Vern, next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Spring is here, and if you're still feeling exhausted, maybe no energy, maybe no sex drive, it could be time to head to Low T Center, because 1 in 4 men has low testosterone. And over at Low T Center, they'll work with the experts to do personalized TRT meant for your body. Put that spring back in your step. What I like about it is you get to choose your way of self-care, which is, look, you go in there for a 20-minute appointment, get the test, find out where you are and your T levels are, and then they personalize the treatment to you. And you can go back and get in-person visits if that's what you'd prefer, or you can do telehealth and do it in the privacy of your own home. There's lots of reasons to make sure that you're living up to your best and feeling your best. Don't be putting this off just because you're worried about what the appointment will look like. At the Low T Center, all providers are board certified and experts in their field, and they know the right questions to ask or ask you to figure out what will set you up for success. So if you're looking to get back to you, head to lowtcenter.com for a free testosterone test and see if you qualify for a TRT customized treatment. That's lowtcenter.com.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Like our original gold-rimmed Bluebell homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Price Chopper supermarkets and Cosentino markets.
Hello, I'm Ozempic.
And I'm other GLP-1s, kind of like him. Hey, are you shaking a maraca?
No, I'm shaking the pill version of Ozempic, which no one should ever do except in ads like this.
A nice disclaimer.
Hey, thanks. Ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of the Ozempic pen or pill may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide tablets, 9 milligrams, and Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams.
There's a pill version of Ozempic.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills? Switch to Red Pocket Mobile. With Red Pocket Mobile, premium 5G plans start at just $10 a month. Pick a plan, lock in your rate, and that's the number you'll see on your bill every month. No hidden fees and no long-term contracts. And here's the kicker. Red Pocket lets you choose from 3 major 5G networks, not just one. Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price and no contracts at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 12 minutes or so. We know the Royals are in Chicago taking on the White Sox. You'll hear them again tonight right here on 96.5 The Fan. And an hour before first pitch at 5:30, you will hear our guy Josh Vern, our Royals insider. He joins us each and every Wednesday. We connect with him right now. And Vern, last night, I didn't get a chance to catch postgame. I'm curious just your reaction to what we saw transpire, where it felt like, man, the offense is rolling early, and that was one you got to have if you're the Royals.
Yeah, a lot of disappointing aspects to last night's loss, from Stephen Kolek's magical run to start his Royals career, that coming to an end in that 5-run 5th inning. Matt Strahm, a guy that we've only seen pitch once in the past week, so you know he's fresh, to get beat on a well-executed pitch, but to get beat in the 8th inning with that guy on the hill, that certainly stings. You score multiple runs in the first inning for just the fourth time all year, and you don't hang on to win. Even after that 5-run fifth inning, the boys come right back and score 3 in the very next half inning, so you show that comeback spirit. That stunk, but to me what hurt the most in last night's loss was the punch-outs in situations that require anything but a punch-out. 2 on, 1 out in the third inning. Carter Jensen goes down swinging. And then again in the 7th inning, the Royals put 2 on with nobody out, and they're unable to get a run across as Carter and Cags both go down swinging. So 3rd inning, 7th inning, 2 on, nobody out, and you don't push across a single run. You knew that was going to come back and bite you. You hoped that it wouldn't, and ultimately it did. So, yeah, a lot that left us on the mat following last night's series opening loss.
You mentioned Stephen Kolek. Look, he's allowed to be human and have an outing like that. I thought it was maybe a wake-up sign for those that were already suggesting, Noah Cameron, go ahead and move him out of the rotation, put Kolek in. I think this was a reminder last night that, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, although neither one of them making a strong case to maintain their spot in the rotation. But to your point, Gold, no doubt, what Noah Cameron did last year leaves him with a slightly longer leash when Cole Reagans gets back from that IL, which hopefully is not this weekend, but next weekend against Seattle.
When you look at, I guess, some of the guys you talked about, Carter Jensen, for instance, you'd said it, I think, on Fesco and Dusty on Monday, and then we had J.J. Piccolo on yesterday, who admitted it, I think, in just talking about Carter Jensen. Are they putting too much on him? He is still a player with, like, less than 80 big league games or whatever under his belt, and between all the extra catching, because Salvi hasn't been available, and he's having to hit in the middle of the order and hit fifth, and he's not a perfect defender yet, and trying to figure that part out and call games. It feels like part of his might just be young guy being asked to do everything, and a lot of times that doesn't go well in baseball.
Certainly. Now, is it too much? Yeah, but what are the other options? More Elias Diaz and put Carter Jensen on the bench? More Elias Diaz and put Salvi on the bench? No, I think you keep running them out there. Good sign last night that Salvi was able to get behind there and catch 8 innings, run into a home run in the first inning. But even after the game, Salvi didn't seem as confident that, yes, I'll be back in there tomorrow night and I'm not going anywhere. You're going to see me out there consistently. I know he wants to play, but he also is 36 and is dealing with a hip and a groin, just an entire midsection that's nagging him and has been nagging him for weeks. And as Charles Barkley always says, old people don't get healthier. So, yeah, I mean, you just hope for the best when it comes to Salvi as far as his health going into the All-Star break in 2 months. And Carter Jensen, yeah, it's just Carter Jensen's here for his bat, certainly not his glove. Most 22-year-olds, when they're catching, especially ones that are here for their bat, normally the message from the coaching staff is, hey, dude, you're going to hit 8th or 9th, and whatever we get from you offensively is a bonus. We just want you to focus on the defense and the game calling and getting your pitchers through these 9 innings. But when you're here for the bat, they're going to keep running you into that number 5 spot. And, yeah, it's a lot to ask for Carter Jensen, but the Royals don't have another option. There isn't some hot shot at AAA waiting to break out offensively. So you're just going to have to keep running them out there and hope that Salvi can get healthy and alleviate some of that everyday catching burden that's been placed on the lap of the 22-year-old.
I guess, do they have any options? Like, we didn't think so a couple weeks ago, so it probably hasn't changed. But do they have any options of, hey, if we wanted to make a small change to improve the roster as it sits right now, let's dip into the AAA waters for a bullpen guy or for a random bench bat? Look, they've already actually had some success in doing that once Nick Lofton has had to come up and play more with Jonathan India, but there's no other, reserve, right? If they want to get the bullpen better later, it's got to come via trade later.
Yeah, you've seen most of the arms, the Eric Sarantolas and Mason Blacks. Yeah, you've seen the bullpen arms, Carlos Estevez, hopefully at some point in the second half of the season. But now as far as the type of bullpen arm that can make a real difference, Dennis Colleran's not off to the type of start we had hoped down in AA, so he doesn't look like he's going to be the answer anytime soon. Yeah, it's probably a trade deadline acquisition. We've been talking on the postgame show about Aroldis Chapman bringing him back with his best friend Salvi, bringing him back to Kansas City. That seems to be a home run move if J.J. Piccolo's able to pull that off with the Red Sox before the early August trade deadline. And as far as bench players, you have some defensive first catchers in the minor leagues. Luke Mailey's back. Jorge Alfaro's down in Double-A. So 2 catchers with some big league experience. As far as a bat that could make an impact, Carson Rockefort's at Double-A, but he's striking out too much, and he's at Double-A, let alone Triple-A. Yeah. So no one that jumps out at you, that's for sure.
I know it's way early. It's still May 13th, but I know when JJ was on with Bink and Cody yesterday, they asked him about the deadline just because of where the AL is at right now, and this can all change very quickly, but it feels like if actually going to be as jumbled as it is and nobody's running away with anything, that is it shaping up to be an uneventful trade deadline?
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
As you get closer, I think a few teams will get real, right? Maybe not in the division. Maybe everyone in the American League Central stays in until the deadline. But, you look at the Astros and the Angels. The Angels, what could a Joe Adell fetch at the trade deadline? The Astros just have a lot of bad contracts for the most part, and I can't imagine they're going to move Yordan Alvarez, so there's nothing that really jumps Isaac Paredes. Nothing really jumps off the roster when it comes to the Houston Astros. But yeah, Boston, again, 11 games out in the American League Central. Sure, they'll still be in the fight for the wild card, but the way the Boston Red Sox have acted over the past few seasons, they act like they're a mid-market team, so they might be willing to part with pieces, big league pieces, prior to the deadline. No, I think it'll be the usual entertaining trade deadline, and I fully expect J.J. Piccolo to be as aggressive as any GM out there, maybe outside of San Diego.
Vern, this sounds a little silly because he was a 10-WAR player and was runner-up for MVP a couple of years ago. Is Bobby better than that version a couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2 years of experience. He's certainly better. Leadership-wise, routine-wise, yeah, he's always sharpening every aspect of his game. It's a nightly occurrence in which he does something that you just shake your head. Last night, it's a line drive that seems to be destined for the right fielder's glove, but the thing just continues to carry, right? It's different coming off of the bat of Bobby Witt Jr., that first inning home run. Nice, and you thought it was setting the stage for a Royals win. But yeah, of course he's getting better to me, and I think he'll continue to get better. We're in the prime, but this isn't a guy that I don't think this is a guy that enjoys resting. I don't think it's a guy that, to me, when he talks about his idols and the guys that he tries to model himself after, it's Mahomes and Tom Brady, Derek Jeter. These are always the first names that come out of his mouth, and those guys turned over every single stone to find ways to improve. His big thing this offseason was recovery. The way that he recovers after games to get ready for the next day, getting the proper amount of rest every single night. So like a Mahomes, a Brady, like the greats, like LeBron, always trying to find a way to get incrementally better. So, sky's the limit for Bobby, and he's already the best baseball player on the planet, not named Shohei. You marvel at what it could look like in a few years.
Lastly, the most important question of the day on the text line they wanted us to ask you, your thoughts on the humping in the outfield from teams across baseball.
Yeah.
We can ask you about that or spaghetti. You get choices.
If it gets the boys going, whatever. Whatever fires up the fan base, whatever fires up the clubhouse. If Gordo, Kane, and Dyson would have done that back in the day, it would have taken this city over. So hopefully the Royals start winning and all banging each other in the outfield.
Josh Vern,
get off the phone line.
Our Royals Insider is on deck show tonight at 5:30 as the Royals have Game 2 against the White Sox.
It is an interesting trend.
Did you see the latest update on this today?
In the outfield is the way that Vern described
it. That'll be a drop for sure. No, the update. So, of course, for those who don't know, it started with the Giants and the three outfielders, and then they did not do it last night. They took a bow last night instead. And The Mets did it, though.
I didn't realize there was more than just the Giants.
The Mets did it last night, to be funny, I assume.
It's picking up in the sport, you know?
But the report out of the Giants is that they were told to cut that out.
You know how it is. Like the NFL doesn't want you to do the throat slash.
Yeah.
You know, the different celebrations that have been cut over the years. It's always, which ones have been cut? The throat slash, the fake, assault.
The gun thing.
Anyone with a gun.
Yeah.
But
Someone says,
the
Cody,
NFL got rid of, like leapfrogs, you know?
Text line says the outfield celebrating humpers are the ball maxing you were talking about.
You think so?
I don't know. I still don't know what that is.
Look.
You don't need to know.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You sure he doesn't need to know?
Yes.
The headline was pretty interesting. The headline, just kind of give the headline, it said, ball maxing is an electrifying, addictive, euphoric, and transcendental.
I found the article. According to those pursuing bigger balls.
That's correct.
I'm just saying
they're injecting. Okay.
All I'm saying is you are.
It's not great.
You're not.
It's not great.
I don't know if that's the area you're.
What area should you be
looking for?
What area should you be, Drew?
Of the two areas available down there, I'm not sure why you're constantly trying to increase the size of your balls, according to these men. Maybe that's the only one available, you know? Maybe there's not.
I'm reading this article. This is crazy. It says there's a burning sensation that's apparently part of the whole experience. Why would anybody want this?
Because there's crazy people out there.
Or idiots. I mean,
I don't know about you. I don't want my balls on fire.
No. That doesn't interest you?
No.
Jerry Lee Lewis or whatever, you know? You know? That you don't want that version of it?
All right. Let's get to the random question.
Crazy.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. As a reminder, we are live streaming the show after a couple days off last week. We're back in 4K over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. So if you were thinking, I haven't logged into the video stream yet when Cody suggested, now's a pretty good time to jump on board. You can interact with the show live, kind of like having a live text line, over on YouTube and Twitch, where I stay in the chats and try to keep everyone engaged. And so join us over on the video stream, at least on that. And the question I have for you today is about a current legal case, one of which I both listened to a podcast on and watched a Netflix special on. And I'm curious now, will you continue to follow a case since you're already locked into it? If you didn't see the news today, Alex Murdaugh, who was charged with a double murder just a couple of years, I think he pleaded guilty in like 2025 or whatever, or 2023 is what
murders happened in 21.
21, but then he got found guilty in 25. And then last year, a former county clerk, Becky Hill, had pled guilty to perjury-related charges as it led to the sealed exhibits in the court case. So the guy's off the hook for now. His court case has been overturned, and he is allowed to seek a new trial. My question is, if you follow these things, how far until you quit? So, Gold, if you've been watching the Murdaugh thing, you back in? You back in for a follow-up doc episode? Because the only one I can remember going back and seeing a continuation one on was the Serial one. The one with Adnan Syed, and the one that was a huge, massive hit for NPR at the time, and a huge case outside of that. They've released several episodes since then because he got it commuted, and then this, and then it was overturned. He had a bunch of stuff, and I've listened to some follow-up stuff. All right, there was an HBO follow-up episode or two on it that I watched as well. But this one, I think I watched it. Crazy small-town rich guy does crazy rich guy stuff. I don't feel like I need to follow the case any more than I was surprised to see it got overturned.
I was surprised as well, but also we all followed it while the trial was going on. Now that they're going to do a retrial, I think we kind of already know how it's most likely going to end up. Again, the retrial was not because of something with the evidence, right? It was because the clerk was maybe talking to the jurors or something, is what they're alleging. Just let me know when the verdict's ready again.
He's definitely going to be guilty again, isn't he?
I would be shocked.
I wouldn't think her case, based on any part of the podcast I listened to or the series I watched, all the evidence is that it was like him and he ran away, and it was definitely him and he did it. He didn't and I get that's speculative by me, but I definitely think the guy did it. On that end, Dana Wright, funny enough, just texted in. She said he absolutely slaughtered his wife and son.
Yeah,
but also
this is going to cost the state.
This is the part of the legal
$5 million to do this trial again.
I guess part of this is, and I get it. If you want to be free, you want to be free. This isn't like the one where that guy claimed a bird. Did you watch that one? Where the prevailing theory was this guy's wife was murdered, and there was all this evidence, but some of the evidence didn't line up. And the prevailing theory, if he's innocent, is that an owl killed his wife, and he just discovered the body. Dude, you got to look it up. It's an insane theory. It's an insane theory. This one doesn't even have that. There's no reasonable explanation that I can see outside of this.
So what is the reason?
So why is he
doing
fighting
this,
it if he
then?
did
Is
it?
it just to make sure that it's done properly?
Yeah, because
I
look,
guess?
no matter whether everybody has a right to a fair trial, right? And so the county clerk there, it sounds like they believe was influencing jurors.
Yeah,
which obviously is, I don't care whether you're guilty or not. You know that's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
And so that's
They just want to make sure it's
The
done.
staircase
It's
was
redone.
the name of the.
So that's why they're doing the retrial.
You should watch that one and then look up the owl theory.
It's like a documentary on like Netflix. or something?
Owl theory.
Yeah, so like this former attorney, he got accused of him and his wife certainly had issues, and they had like
the owl caused her to fall down the stairs.
That's what he's claiming.
Okay, sure.
I don't know if that's what he's claiming. He's just saying he didn't do it. Like he's saying he found her. There's a 911 call. There's all this stuff, and there is some evidence. It's like this works. They come up with a theory. They say this is how the guy did it, and it doesn't all line up with that. But that doesn't mean he didn't do it. Kind of like what was the other one where the guy?
The one that just happened. Did you see this crazy story over the weekend?
Man, we obviously watch a lot of murder stuff on this show.
Well,
which one was this
They're very
weekend?
popular.
Yeah.
The one about the guy got on his wedding night.
Oh.
Yeah, he got married and then he killed his best man on his wedding night.
What?
Yeah, and now he's serving 30 life in prison or
How
whatever.
do you kill your what?
Yeah, he was drunk. They got in an argument and he ran over his best man at his wedding on wedding night. The guy gets married, runs over his best man.
Imagine, I know this, it would be about them, but imagine the wife in this situation. You just got married, happiest day of your life, and they don't even get to spend 30 years with the first 30 years with the person who you just married.
Like, I guess sometimes it's just like sometimes, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But sometimes it's like, I understand the legal system has to take place. This person broke the ethics that would allow you to get a new, but also like, I think he did it. So
That's
like,
not how that works though.
But also
I'm pretty damn sure he did it as well, but
it's a little bit on how I feel. There was the other like big Netflix one that I watched. It was super popular. What was the one where like he like lived at the like auto junkyard and
oh gosh,
that was
in
like,
Wisconsin. The
Wisconsin
family that
one.
was very oh gosh, what was that called?
You know exactly. What
Of course I do. It's going to drive me crazy. Someone's going to text it in about 2 seconds. Watch Making a Murderer. Thank you.
Making a Murderer.
That's the one.
Okay, so
Stephen
like,
Avery
one,
and that whole
it's
Teresa
like,
Hallback.
I
and-
definitely agree that there was something going on in like the evidence of that case, but I also think he probably did it. So like it's tough because someone shouldn't frame me for a murder that I don't want to be framed whether I did it or not. But also like, there's like a legal part of this that we actually have to honor in some capacity.
And this show, of course, is all about upholding standards and legal action and everything.
Banging each other in the outfield.
That's all. We're professional on this show.
I still can't believe.
In fairness, that wasn't the.
I'm gonna have to watch this one on the. I'm gonna have to watch this one on the Best Man. That's crazy.
Somebody
No,
said,
it's not a doc. It's just, the court case just ended.
Oh,
the trial.
okay.
The guy just got convicted of
Somebody
murder.
said the wife was an accomplice in the man running his friend over.
The wife got charged as an accessory to the crime. Yes.
What?
Okay,
so she's going to jail too?
Yeah, but not obviously for life.
Oh, that so you. Okay, so never mind then. I mentioned what imagine you're the wife and this happened. Like you were an accomplice to it. That's insane.
Yeah, it happened in Michigan. Michigan groom is sentenced to decades in prison for killing groomsmen on wedding night. The bride is set to be sentenced later this month for being accessory.
Is there a single one of these you've watched in which you think the person they're claiming could be innocent is innocent? The only one I think is Adnan Syed, where I could at least be convinced.
You've watched more of these than I have. I've only
they
watched
don't have
like
enough evidence to say he did it. How about that? That's the only one where I'm like, that one you never proved it.
Yeah.
So like I can't say for
I mean,
sure.
there was a point in time when I was watching Making a Murder at the time, not since
like,
more information has
"There's
come
some
out.
shady
I
stuff."
thought the Brendan Dassey kid was innocent at the time, but as more information came out with the show and years down the road, I don't know if that's true.
I just felt bad for him, like when I watched the doc at first, because you're like, part of it's just like how awkward it was. Like, so can I go home and get my homework? You're like, oh no. Like, I just didn't think he had the mental faculties in order to understand.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of the
situation he was in.
documentary was about that. Was about the the system and how it favors.
But also,
the
like, I don't feel bad for him based
wealthy
on-
and
yeah, like you
others
said.
during the court process.
Once you get this stuff out of there.
That's the random question of the day. Cody went with a deeper random question of the day than we usually go with. Thank you for bringing
it moves
up that.
around the needle a little. I was just interested because that Murdoch murder is.
What was the one the other day that I
turns
said was
crazy.
good? That I said was good on Monday. Maybe you did, Cody. I can't remember. There was one that Cody did earlier in the week.
Oh,
that
I
was
said,
really
what is
good.
something you wish you had learned to do before you went to college? You know, like some
Yeah,
people were
yeah,
talking
that-
about
that-
like
yeah, that was the
laundry or
one.
working on a car. Like, what's a
Oh.
skill you wish you had learned before you lived on your own?
Gotcha.
Right?
That was what it was.
Yeah.
If you could go back, like, what's a skill you'd wish you'd kind of perfected?
I mean, I knew how to do laundry before I went to college.
Well, some people don't.
That to me is crazy though. The laundry
I'm with
thing
you.
is
I'm
wild.
with you. Yeah, that
But
is,
if you, like
I'll have to think about that.
There are a
question.
lot of car.
I still don't know how to do car stuff though. So
I don't either.
So I guess maybe that's still your
That might be
answer.
the answer. Yeah.
All right,
Cooker, the
up
other
next,
stuff.
let's talk more Royals and what they did not do last night and NFL teams that are feeling like fake contenders already.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state, only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And through Friday at Mattress Firm, you can get a Sealy mattress in any size for only $494.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
What's up, KC? It's Chris Bubich. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play with Denny, Jake, Ryan, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. People are wanting Drew to play Balls of Fire coming back, going back to our pre-random question of
I didn't see that.
It was your opportunity, man.
The break also went by way quicker than
that was a quick break.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a very quick.
No. Royals ever have a prospect come up who averages 100 miles an hour? I'll remake that song in there.
Oh, gosh.
I think you...
I don't think Kendry Churio throws that hard, so we're okay.
David Shields doesn't.
No, he doesn't throw that hard either.
Today's a big day in the card world. I'm just saying. It's a big day for those of us that like to play the prospect game, and it's fun to...
What's out?
Bowman 2026. You guys remember last year Bowman was a big chase for some of these top rookies, guys like Connor Griffin, Nick Kurtz was in it, Jacob Wilson, etc. This year, there's some Ethan Holiday, who was a top pick, is one of the big chases. But for the Royals, this is the first product that has David Shields cards in it. Now, you could get like his unlicensed stuff prior, but this is the first time, so I'm excited. I can start trying to get some David Shields cards, and I already got like 20 of them. But I need
so
to get
you're going to try to get in a break and get like a Bowman first.
Yep.
On-card auto or
that would be
Bowman
nice.
first.
That would be nice.
Sticker auto or some
if anybody
numbered
has
maybe.
David Shields cards, I am a buyer.
A numbered refractor maybe.
Yep.
Would be okay.
One of the Royals' top prospects, still probably 2 years away from getting to the big leagues.
Cody wanted him up yesterday.
That's what I heard. But that's because you guys told me somebody suggested the Royals should trade Kyle Isbell for Mike Trout as if that was a real thing.
They said Kyle Isbell and Chris Bubich for Mike Trout. And I said, okay, fine. Now they'll have no starting pitching left. So I guess I'll just have to call up David Shields and
Can you imagine
start.
the news? Call it up.
Call him an A-ball pitcher?
Call it up from single A.
I can't think of a single time when that happened.
Yeah, it might be the first time ever.
I mean, genuinely. David Price is one of the quickest get to the major stories I remember, genuinely. And he still didn't get up till he was 22 or something. I'm trying to think about the youngest starting pitcher.
How old is David Shields right now? 20?
19.
He's young. Yeah, he's got...
Kendry Churio, who's a top 100 prospect in baseball, is 18.
Yeah.
David Shields is 19.
Yeah, Bowman's one of my favorite products to open up for cards. It's just fun. And now it's a long game. It's a long game. It's
you're always prospect chasing because the firsts.
Yeah, it's prospects, but it's a lot of fun. And a lot of the guys end up being busts, as we know. But it is kind of fun. To me, it also... you get to know some of the future stars of the game a bit more, and so it's cool when all of a sudden, last year when Chase Burns got called up, you guys know I was all fired up about that for the Reds. And that's because I had a bunch of his.
Is it a bad thing? I do not know what David Shields looks like at all.
No, it's not a bad. Why would you?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay.
No, I would say 95% of our audience doesn't know what he looks like. Why would
he
anybody?
Could walk down the street and I would not know that he is
totally normal. He's an A-ball.
There are only 10 major leagues. This is as of a little. There's less than 15 major league starters ever to be called up in their teens. As in starting pitchers. Happens occasionally with position players. One of the most recent ones was Felix Hernandez. He got called up at 19 years old.
I would say that worked out pretty well.
Now, I will say, if David Shields makes one more start like the other ones he has, they should just bump him up to AA.
Well, that might happen.
It's the Cags effect, which is he's not getting anything out of pitching to people at this level. You might as well actually challenge the man and give him something.
Pitching's just a little bit different when you're you're coming out of high school. It's just it's a long game there.
So they mentioned Tim Lincecum. Did he get up as a teenager?
Wow,
Tim Lincecum.
He didn't get up until he was 23.
I hadn't heard that name in a while.
Same thing. Do you realize Tim Lincecum, David Price, the guys we think of man, they gotta be young. They were 22 and 23. Shields is 19.
Yeah.
He can be in the minors for 3 more years before they even have to worry about it. I think their plan with Churio and Shields is once Walker and Lugo's contracts are up, they hope that those guys are available. I don't think it has anything to do with the team and won't have anything to do with the team for years. Maybe next year, a road trip. Think they'll be in AA? Count on Arkansas?
Could be.
An above board road trip. I don't know what that looks like versus below board, but above board.
Definitely has to be above board. Definitely has to be above board.
I think we got to be careful about the place we choose to meet.
Yeah. I think we learned our lesson there.
I didn't learn any lesson. Honestly, when you learn a lesson, Gold, you're supposed to say, you know what? I reflect upon this, and I did everything wrong, and what a huge mistake I've made. And my takeaway from that was, barely did anything wrong, and I wasn't even at fault. Jeez, I learned nothing. Nothing.
Anyways,
above board show. Sometimes. Do you remember times Bink wanted to play that on the show yesterday?
Oh, I bet every hour.
I'm assuming you saw that video like every other person on the planet.
He did it going into break out of nowhere, and I quickly potted it down and sent to break. We
Yeah,
need to hear
he
that
did
more
it
than
going
one
to
time.
break, as I was saying. Coming up next, the Royals general manager, J.J. Piccolo, joins us.
And he played that?
Yes.
He loved it.
Okay.
He liked that.
Man couldn't help himself. Let's talk a little Royals baseball. As you'd mentioned, they obviously got that. They lost to the White Sox last night in game 1 of the series. If I look at the broad picture, they're 11-6 in their last 17 games. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
If I look at the macro, they are 4 out of their last 6 in losses. They're 4-4 in their last 8 and 500 against a division that is all playing 500. They haven't lost any ground on the Tigers or the White Sox even because it's only one game, or the Guardians. They're just playing even with everybody. My whole thing, and I guess I'm curious to see if you agree because it's been a couple of days. Last night's game feels the same way I feel about the team right now, which is simple. I'm frustrated that they lost. It is a very similar and predictable way that they lost in some capacities, although the offense is a lot better. They're having a hard time holding on to these leads, or when they make these comebacks, not always holding on to these comebacks. But I just need them to get near 500 by the end of the month, middle of June, and then figure out a way to eventually ratchet it all up. My problem is I was hoping for more wins in a 20-game stretch when you got Bobby going. Salvi hit last night. Vinny's been hot. When you get some of these guys going, I'd like to see more wins to go with the pitching.
Yeah, Bob, to what you're saying about Bobby Wood Jr., who's playing unbelievable right now, I think here's the problem, though. Normally when they're having the chance, you would think to, at some point this season, have a nice winning streak on top of one they already had.
Yeah, they had the 5-gamer.
Salvi probably has to be hitting, and he's not right yet.
Hit last night, but he hasn't been.
Yeah, he had a home run last night, but we all know the story so far this year. He's been disappointing. Cole Reagans is hurt right now. He was your opening day starter. Noah Cameron's your 5th starter, but he has not lived up to what you were hoping to get out of him. Your opening day closer may not play for a long time this year if he comes back. And so I guess what I'm saying is right now, as much as it's a quest to get to 500, I've been saying that over and over and over, but it truly is just continue. You got to stay within this 2 or 3 game range of 500 because I don't think you're really capable of going on a run right now while Reagans is hurt, while Cameron's playing this way, while Salvi's playing this way. Heck, Vinny's still to a certain extent. You go look, Cody, we're halfway through May almost, and we haven't seen the switch completely flip yet for Vinny the way we normally do. So it should not surprise us that they're not consistently rattling off 5-6 game winning streaks.
They are a wildly inconsistent team right now.
That's the entire division.
They lose 3 games, win 5 games. Lose 3 games, win 3 games. And you're like, what the hell are you? And I think some of that is, and look, this is better than before. Before they were just a bad team. Now they've stabilized to, someone's like, well, they're just an average team. Yeah, I would comfortably say they have settled into playing average baseball, right? They've lost 2 in a row, but they were coming off 2 wins in a row. So, it's not crazy. And even if that, you're like, well, they've lost 4 of 6. Yeah, but before that, they won 5 in a row. That just points again to the absolute wild inconsistency that this team is playing with. So would I be surprised if they win the next 2 games against the White Sox? No. They needed to get out of the home series with a win. They did. They need to get out of this road series, in my opinion, with a split. Last night made it harder because now they got to go 3-2 in the next 5 games against Chicago and against the Cardinals. But they got to just stack up 500 and slightly above 500 series. I gave the numbers yesterday, Gold. They got to finish 10 games above 500 the rest of the way in order to be a 86, 87 win team. It's not as bad as you would think. It's on the upper end of what I think the team is capable of, but it is not out of the range of what I think the team is comfortable doing. Last night, at least, Nick Lofton's better than Jonathan. They got an upgrade. Nick Lofton, it might be a better player than Jonathan India ever was in Kansas City. So they've gotten better there. Bobby's playing like a superstar. Michael Garcia's taken 0 step back. Vinny's hitting great again. So if Salvi, Cags, or Jensen can chip in.
Is Vinny hitting great again? I don't know if I'm sold that he's fully flipped the switch in May. I don't know if
Since
I agree
May's
with
hitting
that.
320.
Is that right?
I think so. I looked it up not that long ago, so I think.
Okay.
I'll look up the proper split.
I mean, his last 2 games might have done that. He's 2 for 4 in his last 2.
I think he was.
Prior to that, he was 1 for 4, 0 for 3, 1 for 5.
In fairness, before that, I had looked at it before last night's game, so the 2-hit game wouldn't have changed much for me. In April this year, he hit 165 with a 274 on base. Awful.
Right.
In May, 304, 333 on base, 790 OPS.
Okay.
5 RBI, 2 walks.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just
and
the
2
runners in
homers.
scoring position numbers.
He only hit 3 homers in April and March. He's already got 2 homers in the first 2 weeks. The runners in scoring position is still bad. I don't have. I can't do much for you there. He has obviously continued to struggle in that area. And I mean, I think while you were gone, he openly said, "I'm hitting like." Were you gone for that?
Yeah. I saw the clip on social, but
so I mean, he had a pretty honest moment. I think in there, he's still hitting on the season 143 with runners in scoring.
But that's the issue. The guy that's supposed to be a 100 RBI guy for you. That's the biggest problem right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully that'll kick in at some point. I was going to mention Stephen Kolek a little bit, and then we can move on. You know, I give him a bit of a pass last night. He's been, for a guy that got called up at age 28 or whatever.
He had his first bad start.
He has he can have a bad outing.
Yeah.
But I will say that's why I didn't get the decision for Matt Quatrero when he was getting clearly some hard contact off of him in that particular inning prior to being forced to put in Strom and then the home run and everything. Why wasn't the hook quicker for a guy that it's not like this is some vet on your staff you've been with for 3 years that you got all the trust of the world with? I mean, this is still a guy with,
just let somebody else get it.
Guy with what, like 10 starts in his career or something like that, if that. Maybe 15. I can't remember. We looked it up earlier. And so that was frustrating. But I will say it was a reminder, while Noah Cameron hasn't been good this year, those that were rushing to just shove Stephen Kolek in the rotation because he was better for the first 4 outings this year, or 3 outings this year, than what Noah Cameron showed. It's a reminder, like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple of just, move Noah Cameron out and then bring in Kolek. No, Kolek's capable of having a rough day too.
He has 21 career starts, not very many. 19 between a couple of teams in 2024, and then obviously a handful last year for the Royals, and now 2 this season for the Royals. It's difficult because I could have been someone to say, you gotta, like, it's officially time with Noah Cameron that you're on watch. That if for the next, let's call it 3 starts, Stephen Kolek pitches awesome and Noah Cameron doesn't, then it might be time. The other part is Cameron's clearly dealing with something.
Right.
And so it's an easy IL excuse. You don't have to think about it. It's like, I understand that that's affecting him. And there's a lot of other things going on in his mechanics. He's having a hard time getting strikes because of that. He's been walking more batters. People have noticed, like, I think they measured it. His arm slot is different, probably because he's overcoming for the injury, which is making him and his fastball easier to see. And because he's hurt, he's throwing way more fastballs than he would at any other point, and that's getting him beat up. There's reasons why. I know why Noah Cameron's struggling. But the problem is, does he need a week off in order to do it? But I can't do any of that. None of that matters, Gold, until Cole Reagans is back. Not a single thing of that matters until Cole Reagans is back and pitching with this team. And that could be maybe next weekend.
He's throwing, I guess.
He's throwing, and they said it went fine. And he'll throw again and more. And if that goes fine, he'll probably make a rehab start. But, I mean, at the earliest, you would probably look next Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, and that's still on the optimistic timeline. JJ said it could just be the 15-day IL they put him on, but it very well could be more. They don't really know until they find out how that arm reacts. Yordan Ventura, this exact same injury, missed 1 start. Other guys miss months. You just don't know, Gold. Unfortunately for Cole Reagans, it just feels like it's part of the story. But the pitching, it's like last night starting pitching let him down, and Strom didn't even make that bad of a pitch. But it's like to fight back to get that game and then lose. That game was annoying. It's not the most frustrated I've been all season, but it was definitely an annoying one. From the 785, people are now looking up other young pitchers because we were looking at starters. Yeah. Saberhagen was up at 20. Dwight Gooden was up at 19. I've already said
there's always outliers.
Gold will back me up on this. I am on record of saying I think David Shields is going to be up by 20 or 21. I think he's going to be a fast rising pitching prospect. And the fact that Kendry Churio is a top 100 prospect in baseball, he's not yet, they'll both be in it soon enough. They got the stuff. The biggest question people have about David Shields is velocity. Will he look as good if he doesn't? People think he can throw 95, 96, 97 miles an hour, but he doesn't do that consistently. People saying that his arm, as he matures and gets older, should the velocity tick up? And if it doesn't, can he, be that good going forward? Let's talk about the NFL, though. Let's shift gears a little bit. I'd asked you earlier, because SB Nation put out a poll of the teams that we think are fake contenders. To me, that means there's no part of your season going all that well that actually makes me believe you could even contend for a Super Bowl. They listed Broncos, Eagles, Patriots, and Bears, with the Patriots getting the vast majority of the votes. Although if it was just those 4 teams, Bears would be my answer. Eagles have been one of the most consistent franchises in the sport. Broncos were in the AFC title game last year before an injury. Patriots were in the Super Bowl. And while some of their rosters still have problems, I'm kind of blanketly putting A.J. Brown as a New England Patriot. So I guess while I have questions about their wide receiver unit today, I don't have it forever. I actually think the more I thought about it, I gave an answer earlier, and somebody had suggested one that I hadn't thought as much about. The Lions might be the answer. Is there any reason why they wouldn't have just turned into a pumpkin? They had their run. They had their 2 or 3 run. They're a 9-win team. You know, the running game's not going to work forever. The shine came off of the Dan Campbell's going to figure
Johnson's
it out.
Gone,
They've lost Ben Johnson. They've lost defensive coordinators. People have come in and out of the system a little bit. Goff still is a limited quarterback in some capacity. The Lions do feel like a decent answer to that. The Packers were given, that's a decent answer to that.
Lions,
the AFC, I think it's a Jags, but
the Lions is tough, though. I hear you, but the Lions is tough only because they still, to me, have a top, let's call it 12 quarterback in football in Jared Goff. They have a top 3 running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. They have Amon-Ra, who is a top 10 receiver. I think he's top 10 for sure, in my opinion. There's too much talent on that offense for me to not think they're a contender. Now, their struggle is that division is brutal. You know, I think Minnesota's going to be better.
Yep.
Chicago has arrived. Green Bay's always going to at least be in the mix. Like
they're going to be at least salty. I don't think Green Bay's going to be. I don't think they're a contender, but they're not a joke.
I would say, you know, the Lions to me still fit in the contender category. The one that came to mind to me, and I swear I'm not doing this just to irritate Drew, like Cincinnati, to me, I can't consider them a serious contender yet. They did some great things this offseason. They finally addressed in a significant way the biggest issue for them, which is their defense. So they did, to me, quote unquote, what they should do. But Joe Burrow has to prove he can stay healthy. Their coach has to prove that he's capable of coaching up a roster, especially early on in the season. Yeah. And they had some injury issues with T. Higgins last year on top of, even on the offensive side. He's got kind of a scary concussion history right now. So they have to prove that they can get off to a good start. Is Joe Burrow playing by week 9 in Spain against the Falcons? Is he still playing? Those are things that will alter my opinion on Cincinnati. So I don't put them in that serious contender. I don't know, you know, fake contender.
The problem is in the AFC, aren't they all contenders?
Patriots, Bills. Fairly wide open, yep.
Yeah, Ravens, Chiefs. In fairness, the AFC South I might just call pretender as a group. If I had any faith in C.J. Stroud, I would take the Texans roster over so many rosters.
If C.J. Stroud was,
But I got no faith in C.J. Stroud. And I do think that because they lost Tank Dell, they lost some of their, and Jaden Higgins was good, but Nico Collins took a step back. So their wide receivers aren't as good as they looked a couple of years ago.
Is Tank's supposed to be back this year? It's been 2 years since he
I just don't think you can plan on it, though. Right? He's trying to come back, but I don't know how anybody can plan for that to be the case.
I think everyone but the Raiders in the AFC West can be taken seriously, and nobody in the AFC South can be taken seriously. And then it's mix and match outside of that. I think it's more in the NFC side to be easy to do because the AFC's a wash. It's a mess and it's a wash. I don't think the Dallas is a contender for what it's worth. I'm off of them.
They've improved the defense. I don't know.
We'll find out if they've really improved it. I mean, I still struggle. We all thought at one point they're going to trade for Max Crosby or Hendrickson. They end up
instead they just drafted
a fairly high pick.
They drafted Malachi Lawrence, and then they got Caleb Downs too, and then they got Quinn and Williams. I don't know. It feels like they should be better. The Cowboys are like the Bengals, though, to me. If the defense is better, they can legitimately make a run and be very, very good. But the jury's still out on both of those teams for sure.
I guess the problem was they weren't as close as the Lions were. The Lions had, despite them finishing last in their division, the Lions had the best point differential in their entire division. Matter of fact, they had the 3rd best point differential in the NFC. The Cowboys weren't that close. They were negative.
Well, that's
40.
because the defense stunk. They were just like the Bengals. But we know the Cowboys' offense the Cowboys' offense can be potent the way the Bengals can, where if they just get it, they don't even have to have a top 10 defense. It's just can the Cowboys not?
I'll tell you now.
Be an atrocity on the defense.
Cincinnati, whatever the odds are right now, Zach Taylor first coach fired. I feel like I'm getting good money because it's not going to be the number one odds one. But so help him if they start 2-3, they go back to slow start like they did a couple years under Zach Taylor. He's going to get canned. He won't even make it to week 7.
If they make the play, they're not going to fire him in the middle of the season, guaranteed. He will not
really?
He will not be the Bengals won't do that.
If they don't make the playoffs, he's definitely fired. We don't even have to have a conversation about that. But if
the Bengals will not fire, I would be
think
stunned.
They fired you, Gold?
If the Bengals fired the coach midseason, I would be stunned. Even if it's bad, if they're 2-4, I don't think they fire him.
Well,
I think
2-4.
I think they wait. I think they wait until the end of the season.
What was the earliest coach fired last year?
That's what I was pulling up.
That was Callahan, wasn't it? From
yeah.
Titans?
If you look even historically, Brian Callahan, October 13th, Robert Saleh was fired in October 8th. The earliest was Bill O'Brien, 2020, October 5th. That's the earliest in the last 10 years.
So if they were 2-4, that'd be in the line.
I just think the way that they operate, though, I don't think they'd fire him in the middle of the season.
I mean, they don't. Historically, they do old franchise stuff, as in
they would wait.
They let the coach play at the contract because they don't want to pay him additional money not to work for them. It's like cheap stuff, Drew.
I will say, though,
it's not even for like good reasons.
Somebody is, though, for 8 straight years, someone's been fired or resigned by the end of October.
I mean,
so somebody, now people are speculating that that's going to be
Aaron Glenn or
Mike Vrabel or Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn's probably the favorite for
the Vrabel thing. I
don't think that should count if Vrabel quits before the season starts.
It would count, but I also just don't think he's quitting. There has to be something way worse than some more photos of him on a boat. Okay, like
we have to find out that one of those kids is his.
Well,
actually,
even that
along those lines.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's got to be that, or that he intentionally put out false information to somebody else to help her, or
for sure.
It's got to be that he did something that hurt the NFL.
Yeah,
just him. Okay, spoiler. We all know at this point it's pretty obvious what was going on. So another photo of them hanging out, no kidding. They hung out a lot. I think we know by now.
They were pretty clearly in a relationship for a number of years.
Somebody's got a good pull from that.
Haven't seen one in a couple of days. Maybe they're out of photos.
What are the odds on Dan Quinn being the first head coach fired?
He's going to be towards the top of the list this year. Yeah.
Is he? Is he going to be that high?
He'll be
I feel like he would be. He's a name that maybe we're overlooking. I suppose. Compared to the teams that stink.
I don't.
Todd Monken might be gone after 1 year with the Browns.
I mean, Todd Bowles is another one. I mean, if all this stuff goes poorly.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles wasn't already fired.
Should have been probably.
Not even to be a nut. I was like, if
I had a bet on first coach fired, honestly, it's either
Glenn. It's got to be way up the list.
Glenn, Bowles, or there's a wild card somewhere. I'm trying to think.
I'm saying I like Zach Taylor. I like Zach Taylor because I'm going to get the 5th best odds.
Yeah.
And they've had a slow start literally every single year but last year under Joe Burrow. They start slow one more time, and they got the whole unit. Everyone's back. Everyone's healthy. We fixed the defense, and they stink.
I think you'd be wasting your money to bet him first coach fired.
You're probably right, though, Drew. I'd say Bowles, Quinn, and Glenn. Quinn, Bowles, Glenn.
I just because Cody, they might start 3-5, and we know he's getting fired, but they're not going to do it during the season. They will.
Dan Quinn's probably the favorite.
I do not think they do it during the season.
Aaron Glenn's probably the favorite. Dan Quinn's top 3, right?
Probably. Yeah.
They're already on the outs. He's already changed his coordinators, fired all of his coaches.
Steichen with the Colts?
I don't think so. No. I think
they're too all in there. Ballard's going to stick with it. He can't. How many people does he get to fire? How many people does Ballard get to hire or fire before he's fired or hired?
Wanted him out of town for.
There's got to be a limit, right, for Ballard at some point before it's like, hey, man, you've had a lot of chances to sign quarterbacks, draft quarterbacks, bring in coaches, sign coaches, and they're all failing. Someone's to blame here. There's always 10 coaches who are not getting fired under any circumstance. Some of them are the people who just got the job, like John Harbaugh. They could win one game and he's not getting fired. But like Andy Reid, Sean McVay, there's probably 10 to 15 coaches
McDonald.
that are Mike McDonald. Nothing barring nothing on the field could happen that would allow it.
Would Kyle Shanahan, would that be one of those it's just time sort of things? Because we know how good of a coach he is, but
if they miss the playoffs this year,
it hasn't really been that great the last couple of years.
They've won more than you think, though. This is the part where,
I think it's the postseason thing more than anything else. Though, I understand, they missed it last year, but it's the.
I'll say
he's never won one, and they're not getting to where they were a couple years ago.
It would be a huge mistake by them. The last. Okay, so they won 6 games 2 years ago, but they've won 10, 13, 12, and 12 for the last 5, and went to 3 conference title games and a Super Bowl. In the last 5 years, he's been to 3 NFC title games, a Super Bowl, and won double-digit games for the 5 years. They want to run Shanahan out of town. I hope Andy Reid retires. Only just so I can get the timeline moved up if he's just free and available.
You would see a run scheme then. Kenneth Walker with Kyle Shanahan would be great.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It is interesting to see the coaches are going to be fired. We'll get the actual odds on that. They release them later in the year. That's always fun.
Oh, yeah, we'll probably know. Honestly, we're probably just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, once the schedule
comes out. That kind of stuff. Yeah, the schedule will play a role in that as well. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending. We'll talk more about what we know about the schedule. A couple of rumors out there. Also, we know the Chiefs are hosting Week 1 and the weird conversation coming out of Denver. We'll do that next here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel can make watching the NBA playoffs more exciting because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, so you can turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to all the action, from those player props on your favorite stars to stats and trends. FanDuel has all the tools you need to back them up. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Just head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Bet on the players you love the way you want. Visit FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook's official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First, online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Trust the professionals at CertaPro Painters to get the job done right. With over 70,000 five-star reviews, they make the process worry-free, starting with a detailed proposal and ending with a professional result at the right price. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin, thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home. Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, Plumbing, and Electrical Services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Sons Electrical, HVAC, and Plumbing.
You know, you don't have to put off fixing plumbing problems in your home anymore. I mean, you could just ignore that clogged drain or visit CMMoseandSon.com to take care of your plumbing problems. CM Mose & Son, license 205366.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
#1 on What's Trending, the Royals in action again tonight in Chicago, taking on the White Sox. 6:40 first pitch here on 96.5 The Fan. Vern's on deck show at 5:30. Seth Lugo gets the nod tonight. The Royals sit at 19-23. It doesn't feel like, we're going to talk more about it here in just a bit, but it doesn't feel like the White Sox are going to be anywhere near the pushover that they've been for everybody in this division again, which is problematic, frankly, and it's why this is going to be a very close AL Central race for a while, and I don't know if anybody's running away with it, but felt like they gave one away last night, that's for sure.
Next up on What's Trending, the full international slate is out. It is 9 different international games this year, starting off with the Rams and 49ers in Australia. There's 3 straight in London, weeks 4, 5, and 6. And then, of course, they'll go to France, Spain, Germany, and Mexico, and Brazil, in week 3. To wrap up the rest of the slate. More importantly, 0 international games for the Chiefs. So we'll talk more about that and what we know about the schedule here coming up after What's Trending.
Postseason continuing in both the NHL and the NBA. Just get you caught up on where things stand right now. Yesterday, you might have saw the Spurs were all over the T-Wolves, 126-97. San Antonio is now up, 3-2 in that series. Tonight, Cavs, Pistons, best series going right now, 2-2. This one in Detroit from Little Caesars Arena. NHL, we got a game tonight after watching an overtime win for the Vegas Golden Knights. Yesterday, tonight, you get one game. The Minnesota Wild taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado could wrap up this second-round series tonight as they lead 2-1.
Next up on What's Trending, the presidential administration, is suspending a requirement.
Politics, Cody. Don't you do it.
Hold on.
Don't do it.
This is important because the World Cup's in Kansas City. Foreign visitors from certain countries to pay as much as $15,000 bond. They are pausing that at the moment, meaning that people can't enter the country without paying that bond. One of those countries that would have had that bond is stationed in Lawrence, Kansas, and Algeria. So that would be one of them. It was the teams that was Algeria, Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and Tunisia. That will no longer be required as it sits right now, although it is a month before matches start, so it's a little late in the game.
2 of the countries are playing matches in Kansas City, so it's significant for potential hotel. Now, you're right. Like, it still is very expensive to
if you weren't going to go to pay the $15,000, are you going to do it on a month's notice? I don't know. But either way, the administration is suspending that requirement to have them pay a $15,000 bond to enter. Probably means including the players who were also going to have to pay it. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were. The players were going to have to pay it.
Look, without getting too deep into it, I think this is a smart decision for the World Cup's sake. But we'll leave it at that. That's what's trending.
We talked about the World Cup last week because the numbers weren't exactly.
Cody always trying to bring up politics on the show. Just not allowed. Just not allowed.
The World Cup's coming to Kansas City.
Politics.
What was it?
You asked us last week what city we could win the Amero race for.
What?
I said, what is the smallest size city you think you could win like a
mayoral race?
Yeah, the mayoral
and then
race.
immediately the text line started being like, Cody, some of your politics aren't going to work for this.
Not going to work.
All right, fine. I was just pointing out that there's no bond for a number of people coming to Kansas City now, possibly.
Would you put bond up for Drew?
$15K?
No.
$500.
$15K. What crime did he commit? I'm talking about.
Oh,
I'm
you
talking
mean
about
like
jail. Not for this. Drew's already in the United States. Obviously, he doesn't need to do that.
What's the crime?
Bond is $3,000. It's minor.
The same crime that you committed.
It's $3,000, let's say.
My bond was $3,000.
It's $3,000.
Sure.
Maybe $3,000's too high. Let's say it's $500.
I'd post bail for you. I'd
For
post it
$500
for you too.
What's the limit? If you knew let's take the crime part out of it as well. What's the dollar amount limit?
$2,000.
Okay.
And then you're on your like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's more than that. I'd be like, Alex, I don't think I should be your first call for bond.
Yeah.
You
would not be my first call.
Why not? You know,
not first call. Call
a family
first.
That sucks though. Calling family for
What do you
bond.
mean?
That ain't fun.
Yeah, but you call.
Some people call friends because it's like
wouldn't bail
less
out Gold
embarrassing.
regardless, because I feel like you.
Well, not if it's.
Well, I'm just saying, if Gold
If it's murder, Gold's on his own.
All right.
I'm not catching his bond for that.
I don't know if I'm getting bond at that point. Someone says, "Will Cody be rooting for the U.S. in the World Cup?" That's a great question, actually. You know what? You know what? That should have been random question of the day. You know, you wouldn't.
Why
think,
wouldn't I vote
Where,
for you?
where
Why
does
would
your
I vote for the
heritage
US?
lie, Cody?
Drew, you wouldn't think we would have to even ask this question to Cody, but
British and Irish.
Prior comments from Cody, I think it's a fair question. Text line, thank you for that.
Cody wants England
It's
to win the World Cup
Is Cody rooting for America in the World Cup or not? I don't know if we can commit fully that he is.
I don't. There's no indication. Just because I said Team Italy was fun once.
I don't know. I don't think you're supporting the United States.
I'll be supporting the U.S. in their soccer endeavors.
Okay.
My kid asked me the other day, his favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
And he said, can we go watch him play when he's here? I was like, absolutely not.
Oh, that's going to be if he plays
I was
here.
like, you got 10 grand?
Yeah, that's.
You got 10 grand. Is that what you told him? Is that what you asked him?
Like, I don't have that kind of dough. If he plays here, he's playing in a quarterfinal against Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
That
if Messi
I can't
plays,
I can't afford. Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to like Drew and I are both we're not sitting together, but we're going to Tunisia, Netherlands, and then if anybody wants 2 other matches, I'm just saying I got tickets.
That's right. I still don't know where I'm sitting yet. It said
yours is upstairs somewhere.
It's in category 3. It said I might not get my tickets until 3 p.m. Up until 3 p.m. the day of. I might not know until I'm leaving to go down to the stadium where I'm sitting at.
That's crazy. We know where ours are at.
Like the tickets might not be released.
The person, whoever you bought the tickets from, they should. Well, I guess what I said, they should know. We got ours through the lottery. They gave us our seat assignment like a month later.
Lotto.
But I'm saying the person you bought it from probably did. Like they.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They should already know what tickets they're selling you. I'm surprised they haven't sent them to you.
They haven't been released to me yet, I suppose, is what it is.
But if you paid for them and they now have access to them, I'm not sure whether they're not in your possession yet.
Well, I've got the receipt in
you
case
used,
something happens.
You used a real site, right?
Oh, gosh.
This wasn't like
Facebook
Marketplace.
No,
Catalog.
I did not use Facebook Marketplace. I used a verified site, got the confirmation, yes.
Right. Someone tried to scam me on Facebook not that long ago. I was picking up like a...
I'm glad you didn't get scammed. I'm glad you were well-informed.
Like,
paid enough attention.
My kid was asking for asking for a basketball jersey. They had it for like $40. I said, I'll give you 30 for it. There's sure, $30. And they're like, will you send me 15 now or 20 now?
Oh, there it is.
And I said, absolutely not. You can either accept my money when I get there or I don't need it. And they just never responded again. I was like, 0%. I will not give you a cent until I am physically there looking at the item with your Venmo in hand. They just never responded again, Gold.
Okay. Smart on your part to say absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No interest in doing that. You'd say we know a couple things about the Chiefs schedule. The funny, I don't know, maybe this because it's a slow NFL season. I get how it happens in Denver. Little brother, they're not letting us play at home. They're sad because they beat the Chiefs in the division and they want to host a game in Denver, not to Arrowhead in week 1 on Monday Night Football, We deserve the bright stage and the big lights and all this other stuff, and not to be second fiddle to the Chiefs, hypothetically. Why do the national pundits care? Has this ever been a set standard that a team who wins a division gets to open up the season at home? I imagine if I went over the last 10 years, it's nowhere close to 100%. It might be 60%. Like, I genuinely don't think the only team who gets it right is if you win the Super Bowl, you get to host the first game of the season at your home stadium. The Seahawks almost lost the right to be the first game of the season, but then decided to play on a Wednesday. So, like, that's the only thing that we've decided to make an exception for, and even that's new. So unless we've decided division winners get home games to open up the season, then who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I think the reaction nationally just goes back to some of the theme. Even though the Chiefs were a 6-win team, there's people that still are sick of seeing the Chiefs featured everywhere. That's honestly what I think the answer is. And they know the game at Arrowhead has a different vibe than if it was at Mile High. And now Denver is one of the other rare atmospheres in the division that actually is a home field advantage. The Chargers are not, the Raiders are not.
Yeah.
So the Broncos, I don't want to act like their atmosphere is not good, but it's not Arrowhead, it's not Kansas City, it's not the tailgating and all that. That is a hell of a scene from Monday Night Football to open up the season. You know they're going to have Jason Kelsey and everybody in the parking lot. Hopefully the weather's nice and it's just going to be everybody's going to be tailgating all day. It's going to be one of those where people are taking off of work at noon or
I would
earlier,
think so.
you know, or taking the day off. And so that's a big reason for it. It was weird to see, you know, especially from someone like Kyle Brand, who we loved having on the show and you know, has gotten just bigger and bigger at this point in time in terms of a media landscape. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. But it's also earned the right, I think is the way you put it, right?
Yeah, nobody earns the right to host anything unless you're a Super Bowl champ. That's how this goes. You earn the right to have other primetime games. And by the way, the Broncos still have a primetime game. It's not like they're still playing in the same primetime slot with the Chiefs. It's just, it's indifferent. In fact, if I was a Broncos fan, other than I guess the little brother part of it, I think it's better for Denver long-term this season that they get the return trip, whenever that is, whether it's December or whenever, against Mahomes at home, when Mahomes, you would think, would be even healthier, right? Further removed from the knee injury. The offense, you would like to think for the Chiefs might be better then. Well, you get them at home where it might be an advantage. Denver in December is not, to me, as beneficial for Kansas City as if the Chiefs were in Denver in September.
I guess it's just like the earned part of it makes no sense to me in the sense that, okay, so we just doing 1 year earnings now? Just to be clear. So the earned right of any schedule thing forever is the 1 year earned privilege. So like the Carolina Panthers, they get, game one at their stadium at 8 and 9 or whatever because they want it. Because if it's earned as in we factor in everything, well, the Chiefs have way past earned it. They've been in 1 billion Super Bowls and AFC title games and MVPs and Super Bowl wins and all that stuff. They've earned every conceivable scheduling award you would be given if we're taking it all into effect. If it's a single year, oh, wow. Well, then what a sad thing to be proud of. For a single year, we were better than you. And so we would like the privilege of having the honor of that doesn't make, do you hear it? I mean, do you hear it if you're a Broncos fan? It sounds petty and sad. And so I wouldn't have cared if the game was in Denver. It didn't matter. I would have preferred it, in fairness, in Denver for the same reasons you did, a competitive reason. But from a who's earned the right, and I don't care. And I almost guarantee you, Gold, that if we go through, do you think of the 8 division winners, how many of them do you think are going to be at home? 1, Seattle. Okay, got it. Any others? Yeah, probably 2, 3, 4. It'll probably be 5 at home, 3 on the road. Do you guys, this is really small. It doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things. Do you guys believe Adam Schefter in the NFL that they don't finalize the schedule until 20 minutes before Schefter starts firing off in national games?
That either.
Does anyone buy that? That they didn't know the Chiefs were going to play? That they genuinely didn't know the Chiefs were going to play at Arrowhead until 20 minutes ago. And then they just decided it.
Joe Buck was on Good Morning America announcing Chiefs, Broncos, Monday Night Football. And 6 hours later, they knew it was at Arrowhead, but they didn't 6 hours earlier. That just seems crazy.
No, they knew it was Arrowhead the whole time. I guess they reserved the right to change it in case something changes.
Someone was saying there was a conflict with the Rockies game and all that, but
there was.
That's not new information. The baseball schedule's been out since last October. The baseball schedule comes out in October the year before. So that's not a new concept.
No, it's it just doesn't. And yeah, sometimes they move games around. All that stuff.
They might have known, but not Adam Schefter. Like, I don't know if
not
that was...
him, but the league. Why did they have Joe Buck go on Good Morning America, and yet he couldn't announce where the game was at yet? But it's 5 hours later. They were able to.
I think it's all been
weird.
penciled in for
that
months.
part's interesting.
Weeks.
Well, I don't know about months because they do wait till after the draft for a lot of it for obvious reasons. I do think, look, it's a computer program kicks out all these different variations and requirements based on TV partners and schedules, divisions, et cetera. And then what's his name from the NFL? Mike North, I think it is.
Yeah.
He goes and they obviously fine tune it. I do believe that it's something that was not ready like a week ago. But I don't get the 4 hours later they were able to confirm it was Arrowhead versus Mile High or whatever it's called out there.
They weren't
now.
sure. He
Yeah.
didn't put that thing to pen until they knew for a while. And the other part is like they're not in the same part of downtown. They could have hosted 2 games at the same time. It has happened and will hypothetically happen again. It's just like it's interesting. I am thrilled the Chiefs do not have an international game. They could use a season with less BS in the schedule. It's not going to be 0.
No, they're still going to have some.
It's not going to be 0.
They have some week 1 already.
They're the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not going to be 0, which means they're already on a short week going into week 2. So, like, they already are going to be on net rest negative for week 2. Just a game, probably.
I would just hope I would just hope.
But they're going to play
if
on
I was a Chiefs
Thanksgiving and
fan,
Christmas.
I would hope that they don't have to play one of the teams that plays Wednesday or Thursday. That would not be what I would
like. The Seahawks in week 2, but they're coming off 10 days rest.
That would be a bad. That'd be worst case scenario, I suppose.
The Seahawks. I mean, do we know if the Seahawks are playing in week 1? They're playing Thursday, and then when is their
they
rematch?
Play Wednesday. Remember they took the Wednesday slot.
So they play Wednesday. The Chiefs. I'm trying to think. Common opponents and everything. I guess there's a scenario where the Chiefs could play the Seahawks after that. But
why not?
I just would be surprised if the Chiefs opened up Broncos Seattle. That'd be something.
It'd be a tough way to go. A team in the NFC or AFC title game and a team in the Super Bowl won the Super Bowl.
And having that team that won the Super Bowl on shorter rest, yeah.
You're on 6 days and they're on 10.
You guys have seen like the schedule leak Twitter accounts, and some are real.
I don't believe any of them.
Some are real, some are fake.
NFL schedule nerd or something like that is one of them that's relatively accurate.
They usually are, but that one's been compiled. The rumor is the Chiefs are playing the Patriots in week 3, but that is just strictly a rumor right now. That was what some people were connecting the dots on. I don't know how they're able to do that yet. We don't have enough information to start penciling in games. But.
I refuse to believe it until we get closer to the actual run of it, because they're just wrong a lot. The very first one that came out was like the Chiefs are playing a game at the identical time as the final game of the Chiefs or the Royals regular season, like in the same parking lot. They got a noon kickoff with a 2:00 Royals game when everyone in baseball plays at 2:00. Okay. And like one of the few stadiums in which they share a parking lot so they can't even play 2 games at the same time. I got to be careful sometimes with those because it's.
I mean, we know what we know.
Do you like schedule release week?
I do. It's fun. It's fun. Why not? There's nothing else going on. Okay, so it's fun.
It's better than
the NBA purposely did not. The NBA does not have a playoff game on Thursday. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if that's just how it works.
I don't know.
But they don't have a game tomorrow at all.
I think it's fun. Yes, ultimately we are finding out literally time and place. Okay, and network. I mean but it shifts so much of the conversation. If anybody that sports bets or plays fantasy football or does Survivor, this is fun because now you can already we might be out in Vegas again, who knows, in August for Survivor contest.
Map it out.
You have the schedule. You can start actually mapping it out. If you play fantasy football, you can have an idea of when some guys' bye weeks are. I think it's more for the extracurriculars. I've told you, people want to plan out their fall, whether it's their kids' activities or their trip. I've told you guys I want to go to the Chiefs LA Rams game this year. And so I'm waiting so I can book a flight. I want to know, are they playing on a holiday? Because I'm not going if they are.
You and I sometimes go to the Raiders game when it was in August. We got to go. When it was Thanksgiving, we didn't.
It allows you to plan out your fall. So it's fun. Now, I don't need to watch NFL Network's 3-hour show about it. Give me the PDF and graphic on Thursday night. But I enjoy the little slow leak too. Because why not? It's kind of fun to talk about. I can, everybody has their grid set up, and it's just
NFL's king.
It's nerdy, but it's king. And we know 2 of the Thursday night games, right? We know Australia week 1, and we know Detroit Buffalo to open up their new stadium. Have you seen ticket prices for the Bills' first game at
$650
for their first game at the new stadium?
I saw the outside of it. I felt like it looked like a created stadium, like a Madden created stadium.
The only thing I do
it seems completely not unique in any way.
It doesn't, but what I do think is cool, they were able to have the lower level fans covered up from the elements, but also it's still outdoors. That part I do like, and that's Buffalo for crying out loud, where they get they're gonna have
lake drift snow.
But they said the way they designed it, they shouldn't have to hire people to go in there like fans and shovel anymore.
So $650 to go to the new stadium
for opening night.
I mean,
from even the most.
I mean, Gold. Be honest. 5 years from now, 4 years from now, when the Chiefs open the new stadium, that's the price, man.
Oh yeah,
for the Chiefs' first game in the
depending
new
on how they did, it might be more than that.
For the Chiefs' first game in the new stadium, it's gonna.
If they win the Super Bowl in 2030, then
might
it's
cost
gonna
you a
be
G.
more than that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be cheap. Getting in the new building for a couple of years, you know this works. Baseball and football. For the first couple of years, the tickets aren't like let's go sit in the high V seats. You know, let's go sit in. You know,
right.
You know it was easier to get into a Chiefs game in 2012.
Yeah.
Just handing them out, you know?
Look, if you want to, I'm not arguing. It's outrageously expensive to go to a Chiefs game.
Oh, it's crazy.
But if you want it to be cheap, that means the team's got to suck for 10 years. So I don't want that either.
I just want the stadium to be like cheap once I get in there. I want it to be like the PGA. I get in my food and drink.
You want the Atlanta Falcons.
I want the Atlanta Falcons. I want a $3 hot dog and a $2 drink.
You and I know that's not happening.
Like, why not?
You know,
publicly paid for the stadium more than any stadium in the history of mankind.
I don't disagree.
Can I not get a $2 popcorn when I go into the place?
I don't disagree. I'm just telling you.
I think that's crazy.
Based on the fact that the Falcons literally are the only NFL team that does it.
There are some other teams and places that do it, but you are right that they are one of. I don't know if they're the only. I haven't done that much research, but they very well might be. Arthur Blank keeps it cheap.
Yeah.
For anything, by the way. It's like every event
him.
they do there, even if it's a concert, they do it the same way. They keep it dirt cheap.
They've got the Chick-fil-A in the stadium, which of course is not open on Sundays.
Did you see
I got to spend $1,200 to get us in the building, and then in addition to it, another $200 to eat.
You reminded me when you said Chick-fil-A and the stadium and stuff. The Chicago MLS team, what are they? Chicago Fire, I think.
Yes.
They just announced a brand new stadium, and it's the first stadium that'll have McDonald's on the name of it.
Oh.
You would think McDonald's has sponsored it before they have it. McDonald's Stadium, and there's an actual McDonald's inside the.
That's pretty awesome.
Look, Drew, we used to have at T-Mobile Center when it was Sprint Center. There was a Quick Trip inside the.
There was
just an actual Quick Trip inside.
You get like a fountain drink.
It was great. It was great.
How about that?
Pretty sick.
I wish they still had that.
Bring it back.
They should.
Quick Trip.
More restaurants should do that, almost where it's like a food court in the mall. Yeah.
You want like to get an Orange Julius?
Oh,
Topsy popcorn.
Look, if they want to go ahead and put Sarku Japan in there. Have some Chinese food.
Sarku
yes,
Japan.
please. Have some.
We could have made this a random question.
Yes.
What is your favorite mall food?
Give me that.
You an Auntie Anne's pretzel guy?
Back in the day, now they've had standalone locations for a long time. But back as a kid, it was a big deal. Panda Express, like in the mall. Like now they have locations everywhere, and they've blown up. Like, yeah. And now unfortunately, like Oak Park Mall, they've gotten very commercialized. So like it's Chipotle and it's which I love, but you know what I mean. Like it's not as much original stuff.
I only want like Jamba Juice
where they throw in the breadsticks already pre-made into the oven or whatever. Yeah,
like Orange Julius. Those are the ones like that I think of being like
for sure
in a mall.
Mrs. Fields.
Yeah. Exactly. We mentioned Auntie Anne's. Like Johnny Rockets, even. Like I've never seen one inside not a mall.
Johnny Rockets.
I guess
we had the most expensive Johnny Rockets ever in Vegas when we were on Radio Row. It was the only place to eat next to Radio Row. And what was it? $25 for a hamburger? It was insane.
It was crazy. But also they knew they could just charge whatever the hell they wanted. Cinnabon, that's another one.
Cinnabon.
I think of that as being like a mall